I don't care if you rename this BBC month. It is Black History Month, and if you up, smash that like button. I'm your interim host, the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja, and on my left, your boy Blue.
It's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. And it's Black History Month.
And on my far left, choking people out on the threes and fours, spinning those ones and twos, Cronus.
The oppressor has always indoctrinated the weak with his interpretation of crimes of the strong.
God dang. Why you gotta hit him with that?
It's Black
That
History
kind of.
Month. Gotta get the quotes. Gotta get the quotes.
Man. All right. We back up in this. We are missing the food lover himself, Prodigy. We may have a guest appearance from an old member showing up. Maybe not an old member, just never member you all haven't seen. Some of you have probably never seen, but he may
Mm,
make an appearance tonight.
right.
Um, we got some statistics possibly from Cronus. Yes, no.
Yes, I do. Listener of the week would be Cyto X. Thank you very much for listening. We appreciate it. And first in the chat would be nobody so far because we were kind of late and
Oh,
we missed
That's
last week.
that Cyto
Sorry.
X sounds like a cool handle from Ready Player One.
Cyto
Does.
X.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
well, I think there was a character in the name Cyto.
There is.
Sure.
Cyto was. It was one
Yeah.
of the Japanese brothers. There we
Oh,
go.
Yeah,
okay, yeah, that's right.
Warrior Fellows the
the
first.
brothers who weren't really brothers.
Yeah.
Welcome
Warrior
in,
Fellows first in the chat. Thank you.
welcome in, Warrior Fellow. Welcome to the dankness of the week. We might go
I
kind
wonder
of
what's
wrong
the
tonight, even without
I wonder what's the
Prodigy.
history on his last name or on his username for Warrior
Warrior
Fella.
Fellow. He's a warrior and he's a fellow. That's all I need to know.
Oh, that
Hold on,
makes
hold on.
sense.
I gotta do something official on the podcast because it's the end of my
Oh yeah,
oh
Oh shit!
beer. Yeah,
here you go.
it's the end.
In honor of Black History Month,
Yeah.
I'm drinking out of my black
Oh,
and
black
beautiful
is
glass,
beautiful.
I am doing
Oh,
the
I had that
same,
glass.
dark
and I'm also
I had that.
drinking
chocolate beer.
an imperial stout called Ink by probably not Black Brewery. Sorry, it's by Rheingeist Brewery, and there you go, the official black. Oh my god, I got the dirty glass. What the fuck?
Oh, that's all
No, why is my glass dirty? I did the thing.
Oh well,
There
the
you go.
beer
It's a
will
little
kill
better.
the
But
germs.
y'all can tell. Damn it, I got the fucking dirty glass.
damn.
How you
So
can
I'm
tell
a
it's a
glass.
dirty glass is when you can see the goddamn. Well, you can't see it on this side, but I just showed it a second ago. When you can see the bubbles clicking into the glass, means your fucking glass is dirty. Apparently, mine was.
Oh,
But
I thought
still.
it was like dirty, like there was like food in it or something.
That's
No, it's like a
even
really
worse.
Yeah, I
minor
washed
thing.
mine. No,
All right.
I washed
All
mine.
right. So
But I mean, I watched mine
transition.
too. I'm not.
Uh,
I
I
watched
only
that shit.
I only wash mine by hand. But I have like a special glass cleaning thingy that I use for cleaning this glass.
Well,
I use for other glass too, but
I haven't used. I
mainly
mean, I haven't
for
drank beer in a long time, so probably just dust particles settling in
yeah.
here. So
yeah, I was about to say it probably is dust.
Hmm.
And then
It's probably a bunch of tears, dried up
I guess
tears.
a long time is what, a month, 30 days.
30 days,
Yeah, that's a long time for a
31.
lot of.
Well, I mean, technically, I left keto yesterday, so yeah, it was 30 days.
All right, so we
You,
missed
you left your
last week.
kid somewhere?
Well, 31. Keto.
Oh yeah.
Keto, not kids. Keto.
I thought you said kiddo. I left my kiddo. I was like, damn,
I
man.
dropped 15 pounds. I figured that was enough. Calm the fuck down.
Yeah.
So let's get back to some carbs and shit.
Yeah. So last week we didn't cast. We had some behind the scenes stuff happen, so we didn't post up.
Yeah.
We
some
left
family
you
stuff.
some basics. We always leave you with something. Oh, we so instead, myself and Prodigy, we posted up our Twitch stream. We Twitch on Modern Warfare 2. We did the raid like as soon as instead of the normal time we would podcast, we posted up the raid on Twitch. So we posted out the link. Thank you for those who watched because there are some people that actually watched. But it took us like 3 hours to get through the raid.
God
It's
damn.
pretty hilarious. I mean, raids are long; they're
Damn.
supposed to be,
Yeah.
but it's even more so when communication is key and you lack some of it because everyone's screaming at each other, or someone who thinks they know what they're doing and never been in it before goes off and Leroy Jenkins out there. So it's
AKA
pretty,
Prodigy.
so it's pretty interesting watching this kind of stuff. Thank you to B Boy. He brought up some constructive criticism. It's pretty funny, but yeah. So that was actually last week's podcast. Was 3 hours of Modern Warfare 2 raid. So if you tuned in, thank you. If you haven't, it should still be up. I think it's up until tomorrow. So yeah.
Speaking of
Uh,
gaming, did y'all see what I got?
no, why did you get a new something or what?
I have the new DualSense Edge controller.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Just as a comparison, if you're watching the
Wait, what?
podcast, on the left is the normal DualSense, and on the right is the DualSense Edge. So, and yes, there is a difference. Like right when you pick it up, you're like, wow, this is it just feels better in the hand, even though it's like basically the same dimensions, but it feels like more solid for some reason. I don't know what they fucking made this shit with, but it's a little bit heavier, and I really, really like it. I think that they made a lot of really good improvements. One of them is just like on the back of the controller with like a click, you can change how like much play is in the triggers. So like you can do either really short
Oh.
triggers, like a medium trigger, and then like the long pull if you want to play like just regular games or whatever. So it's very nice. You can customize a shitload of things on this. They got function buttons to like add in like custom things in here. I didn't install the back buttons yet, but you can. You can put back buttons on here to like do special functions and macros and stuff. So it's been really cool. And you can also easily replace the fucking thumbsticks, which because some thumbsticks have drift. Actually, I've never opened this before, but I'll open it on the cast. But it just opens super easy. You can
Damn.
replace the thumbsticks. How do you pull it out? Is it just I haven't?
You just it pulled out.
Yeah, it pulls out somehow. Oh no, there's a lever. Okay, there's a lever here. Yeah, and then I think it pulls out like that. Yeah, there you go. Pull straight out. So
Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like with like a computer part or something like that, like a cable. You can just lift up the flap and slide it out.
yeah, it's like this is super. It's super cool to like be able to customize it because this is one of the things that I will freely admit that the Xbox had over the PlayStation. I wouldn't say the controller generally was better, but at least you have the Elite controller looked really fucking dope, and I really wanted to get one.
It is dope.
Yeah.
There's a lot. They're still fucking expensive, but
Yeah.
it's fully customizable. And I was about to say it's just like the Elite controller.
Yeah.
You can literally switch
Can't you-
everything out for that fucking thing.
Can't you connect the Xbox controller to a PS5?
I don't-
Can't they just
I don't know.
Bluetooth?
So what I do know is that they were making. I don't know if they're available, but they were making like Xbox style controllers for the PS5 for people that like them. But they're third party. They aren't first party. First party. So I don't know if they had a cease and desist or if they're actually out and you have to special order them. But I've seen them. I've seen pictures of them, and it said coming soon. So I don't know whatever happened to them. But they look
Looks
quite.
like the only way to do it is if you have a cell phone and you have remote play on your phone. So you basically use your phone to connect to the Xbox controllers, but then it connects your PS5.
Well,
That's I'm just looking at a quick little snippet about it, but
Yeah, I
that's
know there's a
kinda
third
not
party. They probably got shut down by Sony, but I know they were coming. I heard they were coming. So
hey, all I know is on my Steam Deck I can play with the Xbox controller or the fucking PS5. And don't give a fuck. It's a whore.
yeah, I think
it'll take all inputs.
you should be able to play
yeah.
with this, right?
What's up?
You should be able to play with a Switch one too, right?
I probably can. I haven't
The-
tried because
the-
that's not a
not
great
the-
controller, but yeah.
Yeah, not the no, not the
Oh, the
not
Pro controller?
yeah, the Pro
Yeah,
controller.
I probably can.
Yeah, because you just plug into USB and it should work.
Yeah.
You may have to map the buttons, but other than that,
It does a fantastic job mapping all the buttons like right away. I plugged in my PS4 controller and it was just like, or PS5 controller and it was like, yep, let's go. So
that's good. I want to hit these RIPS really quick because we're gonna probably go into something deep. We're probably gonna go deep probably the next 30, 45 minutes. We're gonna start with some RIPS with David Crosby. Crosby was a singer-songwriter. He was a founding member of the Byrds and the Crosbys. Crosby, Still and Nash. Sorry, the Byrds, Crosby, Still and Nash, and he also had a solo career. Crosby, Still and Nash had their second concert at the original Woodstock, Woodstock '69. That was their second live concert. Pretty crazy. Neil Young would sometimes perform with the band for their live performances. He's one of the few people that performed with Jerry Garcia on stage with from the Grateful Dead. He's been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. He has a cannabis brand called Mighty Cross, and he's been in movies such as Hook, Backdraft, and he also voiced himself in 2 episodes of The Simpsons. In the I didn't write the episodes, but in 2000, he was a sperm donor to Melissa Etheridge and her partner for artificial insemination, which gave them their kid. He died at the age of 81. Next up, we had Lisa Loring. She played the original Wednesday Addams in the 1960s and returned to the role of for the Halloween TV movie special in the 70s, actually 77 to be specific. She had a pretty interesting life. At the age of 15, she got married, and then a year later, she had a kid.
That's gross, by the way.
Yeah, but she married someone
That
that
is
was her
very
age.
gross.
She married someone that was her age. Her and her high school sweetheart got married,
That
and she
he
had the
was.
kid.
They were both
Huh?
15.
They're both 15. Yeah,
No, you. How old is she?
she at the time she
No, I
was
mean, like,
15.
how old is when she passed away?
Oh, she was 64.
Yeah, I don't. Questionable.
Yeah, so this is
That's
back in
questionable.
19. She married 3 times. She married in 81 and 1987. She married an adult film star Jerry Butler. They met on the set of Tracy's Big Trick, which starred Tracy Lords, and when she was a makeup artist and an uncredited writer. She also appeared in B movie slasher films that same year, 2 of them, and then another one a year later. She died from smoking and hypertension at the age of 64.
Damn.
Next, we have Cindy Williams. She was best known for playing Shirley Feeney on the television shows Happy Days and The Vernon Shirley. She also appeared in the film American Graffiti, directed by George Lucas. Both Cindy and Penny Marshall got the job for Laverne and Shirley due to their popularity on Happy Days. They did uh, one guest stint, and then because of that, they got their own show. She reprised her role in the sequel to American Graffiti. She would continue to perform on stage and guest star in a few TV shows like Eight Simple Rules. She died at the age of 75. And then the last one hit kind of hard because I didn't expect this one from this lady. She's kind of young. Was Annie Wershing. She's the actress who's in a lot of high profile projects since 2002. She's probably most noted for her role as FBI agent Renee Walker from the 24 series. Her first role was actually in Star Trek Enterprise. She appeared in the Vampire Diaries, Revolution, Dallas, and Timeless, and also Bosch, the Showtime show. I guess she's on for 2 seasons. On the Marvel side, in Marvel, she was the leader of an alien cult that cuckolded her husband and made him raise her alien child in the Runaways. She returned to Star Trek in season 2 of Star Trek Picard to play the Borg Queen last year. She had an undisclosed case of cancer and passed away at the age of 45. There we go. And that's it for the RIPs.
Damn, that's crazy, dude. She's like really close to our age.
And she's in a lot of like big projects, so everyone's kind of seen her before, even if you may
Yeah.
not know her name. Oh, I didn't put the big thing. I don't know why I missed this, but she is the original voice actress and the motion capture actor for Tess from The Last of Us,
Yeah.
the video game,
Oh,
not the
that's...
show. So the game Tess, she was the voice and the motion capture.
Wait, didn't she make an appearance in the show?
No.
Not yet.
Not a... No.
No, not yet. You would know. She has fiery red hair. So
Oh, okay, never
You,
mind.
you talk about how she was in. She was the Borg Queen.
yeah, I
Okay,
just
sorry.
yeah.
I get up for a second, so I didn't hear it.
I didn't have my thing. I had my notes up. So yeah, she was the Borg Queen last year. Yeah, and I don't know if you know, but she was Star Trek was her first like screen credit. Star
Oh, that's
Trek.
cool. Yeah.
So she came back like years later, like literally 20 some odd years later to be in Star Trek again to be the Borg Queen, which is
Nice.
wild.
Yeah, it's sick. She was young, 45. I
Still
say young because
45.
that's only 2 years older than I am.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't look like she's gonna be in Last of Us, the TV series. Like,
She is not. I don't
She's-
think she is.
no.
Which we'll get to The Last of Us shortly, in a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, because we got other characters from the game that actually were in the show, like
Oh yeah,
Didn't
the
homegirl?
tenant.
Is it Mar? No, Is it Marlene?
Yeah, Marlene.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the voice
Oh,
actress.
Yeah,
And Troy
so the
Baker's in
chick.
it too, which is weird because he's not voicing Joel, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, because the guy who voices Joel, he's in the series. We
Yeah,
haven't seen him yet, but he'll show up later on.
yeah, Troy Baker.
Also, oh, I didn't hear you say Troy Baker. I said something else. Um, I also want to give a shout out to the victims from the Half Moon Bay mass shootings and the Monterey Park mass shootings, both in here in California. Um, you guys want to talk about those two incidents? Because one of them was close to the Bay, the other one is like in SoCal. But if people didn't know, I think one of them hit national news. I'm not sure, but
I don't have all the details on either shootings. I just know that they were. I saw part of one because the guy got disarmed eventually by.
mm,
He was an older Asian guy who got disarmed by another Asian guy. I think it looked like he had a fucking Uzi. I was like, holy shit. And he got
mm,
disarmed, and the guy was still fighting back. And this is how you know, like, when somebody really doesn't want to hurt somebody else, is because the guy that disarmed him literally had the gun in his hand, and he's fighting off the guy that was gonna kill like more people, and he's not shooting him. And it's like that's like an easy way out. Like you have the guns in your hand, just fucking kill him. But
yeah.
yeah,
so bad.
he tried his hardest, and he did his hardest to not kill the guy, and he got him to go away eventually.
Was that
Uh,
the Half Moon Bay one or the Monterey
I think that
or
was
the?
the Monterey one. Maybe it
maybe
was half. I can't remember. I get them both mixed up because they were, you
both
know,
by Asian men.
yeah. It's really weird. Like, because usually that kind of violence doesn't come from that demographic, So
Yeah.
Usually,
yeah,
I can tell you this about the Monterey or the Half Moon Bay one that the victims were migrant immigrant workers. So they were working on the farm in the Half Moon Bay. Half Moon Bay is a sleepy like beach town kind of, but they have migrant
Yeah.
immigrant workers working there. These people range from like 73 all the way down to 43. So
And it's,
and
it's
this
crazy
man,
because Half Moon Bay, like it's a bit of a journey to try to get to Half Moon Bay. Like you have to go through the hills and stuff to get there. Like even if you can take like come up from Pacifica and go down south, but like dude, there's literally a road called what is it Devil Slide or something like that.
is it Devil's Canyon? Because there's Devil's Canyon Brewery.
No, it's called something else. Because like people are known to die in this turn. That's what I had to see what it's called again. I think it's called
Oh,
Devil's.
so that's the turn. So it's a famous turn that's actually in a Clint Eastwood movie.
Yeah, and they actually changed the road. Like they literally carved the tunnel in the mountains just to kind of bypass that. But like people still get into that. Like just recently, there was a Tesla driver who drove his family off the road. It wasn't anything with the Tesla. Dude tried to kill his whole fucking family, and he drove off of that Devil's. Oh, it's Devil's Slide, I think. The Devil's Slide. What the hell is that road called? Um,
it's also a great Joe Satriani song. I'm just saying.
And so here, just look
yeah,
at Devil.
it's called the Devil's Slide, and it's basically like eroded mountain that's like a mile and a half long. Yeah, it's pretty fucking crazy. But
It's
yeah,
a,
Half Moon Bay it's not easy. You can get there easily, but it's not like you have to go through the hills and like there's no like direct route to get there.
Well, right now it's like, well, there are direct routes, but yeah, it's like from the bay. It's like there's one route, but it had a
Yeah,
mudslide recently where you couldn't get there. So I don't know if it's cleared yet, but it was shut down for at least a week or two. Where you had to either come from north or south, and that's a very long route to take.
yeah. You really
yeah,
have to like go through like Santa Cruz to get to Half Moon Bay.
Yeah,
that's
And I guess
yeah,
you
hella
can go through River
far.
City.
yeah. And as far as fuck,
You can go through River City
Yeah,
too.
it's hella far.
Yeah,
You'd have your best bet is to go up north to the city and then come down.
yeah.
Even then, but the thing is, I feel like that road is easier to drive through than to drive down 17. The 17 is pretty fucking dangerous.
dude, Professor, what's it? Dang, got married in Half Moon Bay. His
You
first
know what?
time around. Not he got married twice, but like they had a small wedding earlier in their relationship. Then they had the bigger one later. But yeah, they had it in Half Moon Bay.
Yeah,
It's really nice on the beach. It was real cute and simple.
I didn't get to go
I,
because it was during the
I photographed.
yeah during the main thing of the
Yeah.
pandemic, so I couldn't go.
Okay.
There's also another RP which we'll get into in a little bit, but Tyree Nichols, he was basically murdered, and it was recorded, and it was pretty fucked up. I'm gonna
Oh, I was like,
we,
who's talking? I
we
know
will
what you're
talk
talking about.
about it in a little bit because I want to talk about Black History Month first before we start the whole thing. Because yeah, that whole thing like kind of pissed me off. Anyway, I will talk really quick about a super brief history about how Black History Month was started. I'm saying super brief on purpose. If you're well versed in this person and Black History Month as a whole, then don't get mad at me. I'm just breaking it down to like a really small chunk so people understand because I didn't know all this when I was growing up, and
Dude,
hopefully this will help other people understand about Black History Month. Most people don't even know who the fuck
dude,
started it. So who the fuck started it? Guy's name was Carter G. Woodson. So there you go. And it was started back in 1926 and it was originally called Negro History Week. And it was the start of African American history to be taught alongside with American history throughout the school year. So his whole plan was you would have Black History Week as like a primer for teachers to culminate all of the other Black history that was taught throughout the year in schools. Obviously, that's not the way we do it now. So, and eventually, he wanted more Black history to be taught, with just normal American history throughout the year. So, which is weird because like when I first started, when back in the day, I was thinking like, why the fuck do we need a month of just teaching the same things in the month, but that's not how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a culmination of things. You're supposed to learn it throughout the whole fucking year by the guy who invented it. So, um, it was officially passed in Congress as Black History Month in 1986. So that was a huge gap. And it was started in February, not because it was not because it was the shortest month of the year. It was because of the birthday of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln. They both had birthdays in that month, and obviously those two people are pretty pivotal in African American history. Woodson started studying African American history after he was told by a professor that Negroes had no history, and so he made it his life goal to show that Negroes had history, and he also wrote a book called he wrote a bunch of books, but he wrote a book that was called the Journal of Negro History, really in response to what that professor said to him. He went to he was a professor. He was a principal at a school. I forget the name of the school, unfortunately, and he was also a part
He
of
was a
Omega's.
principal.
Hmm?
I thought he was a professor.
He was a
Someone said he was.
professor, but he was also a principal for the same school that
Okay.
he went through. So it's kind of
Okay.
interesting. And he was also a part of a fraternity called Omega Psi Phi, which is just a badass name. As a nerd, I'm just saying, if you have to go
that
to
is that's
any
pretty fucking
kind
dope.
of, if you have to go to any, fraternity, Omega Psi Phi sounds like the best, just on words alone. So
Hmm.
if you want to learn more
Sounds
about Carter G. Woodson, look up some books. There's podcasts on him. If you want to get like the sort of semi light but more heavy version of mine, there's a really good podcast called Black History for White People. Um,
I
that's a great,
heard about
yeah, it's a great podcast. They haven't put out a lot of new ones lately, but they actually redid the Carter G. Woodson episode. I think like a day or two, maybe it was today. So they redropped it today. If you want to learn more about him and his history. So yeah, now you get some additional history with for the start of Black History Month.
that. Oh,
Here's a fun fact that I just learned while googling this shit. You guys know the song "Reading Rainbow," the classic song from back in
Wait,
the day.
say that again. You broke up for a
I did
second.
not
Hold
know
on, hold
this.
on. Repeat what you just said.
So you guys know the song "Reading Rainbow," right?
Yes.
From the
yeah.
classic song with wow, I can't think of his name. Anyways, yeah, that
LeVar
song
Burton.
was LeVar Burton. I was gonna say I was trying to think of his Star Trek name. Um,
Jordy.
but yeah, that song was performed and sung by Shaka Khan.
Hmm.
Well,
I did not know that until right now. That's
that's
pretty cool.
that is pretty cool.
Well, cause that's cool, but then also like what is it? Magic School Bus was sung by Little Richard.
Huh.
You
I
guys know
did not
that?
know that.
Yeah, if you go back and listen to it, you'd be like, that is Little Richard.
Yeah. Great balls of fire.
All right,
Just
cool.
saying.
Little Richard.
Well,
Woo!
R.I.P. R.I.P. to Little Richard, because a lot of people probably didn't know who the hell he was. until he passed. And even after he passed, the papers still don't know who he is. So,
All right, where would we like to go first? We can go
uh,
depressing. We can go Last of Us. We can go something dank. Where are we going?
uh, we can go. You did we talk about Forspoken? Because it was like we can start with that. I don't know if either of you have it, but it was
So
flamed. Like,
I
well, it's getting mixed reviews. Let's just say.
okay. So I have it. It's right here. You can tell it's still in the cellophane, unfortunately, because I've been playing. So I got to pivot. Sorry, I'm playing this Evil West.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Honestly, this game is pretty good. I'm really enjoying it. The combat system is great. I'm pretty sure none of the rest of you guys played Forspoken, right? Yet?
No,
Okay.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give
I
a.
saw a commercial for it. It looks pretty dope.
Yeah, it's. I heard that the combat is good, but maybe the story might be kind of iffy. But I'm gonna play it anyway because I like the demo. The demo was good. I love the combat. There's a lot of options, but because I haven't played the game yet, I will pivot to talking about Evil West because that's the game I'm actually currently playing, and I've got more than a few hours in, and I'm playing on hard mode, so it's fucking hard, um, but it's fun. Evil West, the story kind of sucks. It's about basically vampires in like the post-colonial America, like Wild Wild West days. Um, but it's the combat system is really cool because you have like lightning kind of powers, you have guns, you got your 6-shooter, you got fucking rifles, you got crossbows, flamethrowers and shit. It's the combat system is like really deep and really diverse, and I really enjoy it. I have a video of like me beating like this really hard boss. I got to post up because it like showed like basically every single move that you can kind of do in the game up until that point to like beat this boss. And most of the bosses are really different. But what's fucked up is that they're really different, but then they just like take the same boss that you just beat, and later on in the game they just like kind of make him a little bit weaker. And you got to beat him again with a bunch of other bosses that you also beat and fucking minions and shit. So you have to like figure out how to like get past all this bullshit with like a boss that you beat before. But yeah, the combat in this game is really something else. Like I really hope that they make a part 2 with maybe more thought on the story, and then also kind of an update to some of the graphics, because graphically it's like it's really hit or miss. Like some of the graphics are like they're decent, and other ones like the fire effects are really fucking shitty. The some of the effects on like when a chain falls looks like fucking really weird looking, and like they just need to be able to, they need to put some like an extra layer of polish on the game. And I hope that they sold enough games to make a second one, because I'm definitely all in for just like, it's almost like, you know, late 2000s action gamey fun, you know, for me. Like, and those are fun types of games. So it's definitely a game worth picking up and just having fun for just the action alone. It's fun. And also if you get creeped out by like leeches and fucking spiders and shit, what's funny is like this game, when I saw a bunch of spiders, there's actually a thing when it before I even got to this part of the game, the game paused and it said if you had arachnophobia, you can turn off spiders at this part. And I was like, I really don't like fucking spiders, but it's in a game, so I don't give a fuck. But there's a lot of spiders and leeches.
Yeah.
Like, is it like spiders are like just on the screen, like in the background or something like that, or is there like?
There's parts where they're basically fucking everywhere, and so like when you're just walking around, there's like hundreds of spiders, and so you're just like, all right. Like I can understand if you have like legit arachnophobia, like you would want to turn the spider thing off.
So wait, it's called Evil West. Does that mean it's a western? Like
Yeah.
it's fucking like cowboys and stuff?
Yeah, you're basically a fucking cowboy.
Like, it looks like there's fucking like I guess there's demon. I mean, it makes sense. It's Evil West.
They're basically like demons and vampires and shit. So like the main enemies are basically like vampires. So or some variant of a vampire. It's fun. It's just it's fun to do.
I was trying to look for. Sorry, jumping back to Black History Month. I was looking for what Carlos was talking about, the month of February, because it is Abe Lincoln's month as well as Frederick Douglass's birthday month.
Yeah.
So there's a movie. It was a PBS movie. It's where Samuel L. Jackson plays Frederick Douglass. It's actually pretty damn good fucking performance. But it's called Assault at West Point,
Okay.
where a student, the first black cadet, he's accused of like maiming himself, like he's cut behind the ears, and he says he was assaulted. So he gets a lawyer from the NAACP, and it's Frederick Douglass. So they build a case against the West Point. West Point, I mean, obviously Cronus knows it's a very famous um, military training. It's for I forgot what branches. All branches or just one branch?
Well, it's not even really a branch. It's a military school, but it's not in the military. So
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it's basically like a military like high school or college, but you're not actually going through boot camp.
yeah. It's like a because they hold like a lot of like crazy kind of like not rituals, but just a lot of like on point stuff and like for like literally what was it, 100 plus years they did not allow women until like the 90s or something, and that was a huge controversy as well. But this
Yeah.
takes place in the 1800s with the first black candidate, and it's actually really well done. I really enjoyed the film. I saw it was weird because I saw it in PBS. I was like, what the hell is this? I missed part of the beginning, but I watched the whole film. It's actually pretty really good. So there you go.
Yeah, what's interesting, like if when once you start going through like a lot of like really deep Black history, is like when you hear the name Frederick Douglass, like he had opponents actually in the black community that
Of
were
course.
also other prominent black figures, because Frederick Douglass was more of the sort of pull yourself up by your bootstraps kind of guy, because back then, um, you know African Americans after the failed Reconstruction, and people had to figure out like what to do, because people think that after slavery like everybody that black was just okay. It's like, well, no, because what they did was when slavery ended, they paid reparations back to the slave owners, and then the former slaves, they had nowhere to go, and so they end up being sharecroppers in the same fucking plantation that they were previously slaves on, which basically re-enslaved them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it
so
was like, yeah,
if you ask Ben Carson and Candace Owens, they're the ones who said they were owed that compensation for the property that they lost. I was like, really?
yeah. Those the people when they think of the people as property, that's like immediately like you're not a great person.
Yeah.
So
Um,
yeah,
I will say like 'cause there was like actually a lot of famous people that were in the circle of Frederick Frederick Douglass. There's, there's obviously Captain John Brown, very famous,
yeah.
controversial historic figure. He's either known as the America's first um,
Abolitionist, really. I mean, it's not first
abolitionist.
abolitionist, but he was. Yeah.
No, he's either the first terrorist, the first American terrorist, or he's a very prominent abolitionist. So there's a huge argument between historians what this man places in society because he fought for the North, but then he fought against the people that were for slavery, like literally tearing up a town with his two sons who both died in the fight. But Franklin does and him were like best friends. They were BFFs. They had the utmost respect for each other,
Yeah.
and they meet in secret at night just to discuss the situation in the town they were in and across the country as a whole. And it was Frederick Douglass who kept telling John Brown not to go crazy and like start killing people, and he wanted to so badly,
Well, I mean, he did
so
kill people.
badly. He did,
A bunch
but
of people. Yeah.
to keep him on his reign. If it wasn't for Frederick Douglass, he would have done it sooner and probably more people.
Oh, just so you know, John Brown is a white guy. So if everybody's not familiar
Oh
with his
yeah,
name, he
he's,
is a white guy.
he's a white person. Yeah, he's Captain John Brown. He's a white military. He was in the army. He's a white army captain. And then another one was the founder of Tuskegee. He was an opponent of Frederick Douglass as well, which is George Washington Carver. He was a
Yeah.
proponent against Frederick Douglass. He disagreed with him a lot.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I mean, they both wanted the same things. They just had different. They had
different
different
approaches.
ideas on how to do it.
Hmm.
So
It's
yeah,
kind of like with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Like they both wanted pretty much the same thing, just went about it two different ways.
yeah,
Hmm.
One was peaceful, the other one was by any means necessary.
So yeah, we're going off on the that here, but
Back history tangent.
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, excuse me. I was gonna say back to gaming.
It's
So
the time.
a milestone game just came back out yesterday. I think it was yesterday or today. GoldenEye 64 or GoldenEye 007, which originally released on the Nintendo 64, got
64.
re-released with its original like super latent polygonal fucking graphics with all its glitches and everything. The thing is, it's what's kind of messed up is that on the Switch, because it's also on the Switch, it's on the Switch and it's on the Xbox, but it's not available for the PlayStation. On the Switch, it has multiplayer, so you can play multiplayer via online. On the Xbox, you cannot. You can only play split screen, four screen. So
that's hilarious.
it's super weird, but I mean, people are still eating it up, still playing it. If you have Game Pass, it is on Game Pass, available now on the Xbox. And then Switch, I think it's like a couple bucks or something. You can
Do they
play it.
have an updated version? Like, can you like switch between like old school version and like upgraded version or upgraded graphic version for the game?
No, no, the only version that I know that has like HD or literally I think 1080p, not even 4K, is there's a project on Steam. I guess you can buy the game on Steam with updated graphics because like a team of people put it back together and updated the code. But that's the only version that I'm aware of. You can do that. I don't think you can play like an HD version of GoldenEye. It'd be nice, but so far I don't think there is.
You know what's crazy is that GoldenEye doesn't get enough credit for modern gaming. It really is like the first person shooter that worked generally on a console, and everybody makes fun of the fucking N64 controller. But listen,
Right?
without the N64 controller, you would not have first person shooters on consoles. All right,
True.
that thumbstick that they had, that shit
Mm-hmm.
worked, and it was before anybody else had that shit. And it was very obviously they refined it, more from decade to decade and generation to generation. But man, that back in the day it worked and it worked well, and we've just kind of grown since then. So shout out to Nintendo and GoldenEye for just changing the gaming world.
Oh yeah, shout out to Rare,
Yeah.
the developer of the game, because everyone was giving them so much shit that a four-person split screen game, a first-person shooter, and four-player split screen would not work on any console ever until like technology caught up with them, and Rare broke everything about
Well, I mean, they had four player, split screen games before. I mean,
that. For what?
like
At that
racing
time?
games. Yeah, yeah. They had Mario Kart was already out. Fucking.
Oh, first no, I said four-person. I added first-person shooter.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah, because at that
F
time, no,
Zero
no,
is what I was out for a long time,
Yeah,
man.
that
Oh,
I was
sorry,
about to
that's
say
not
yes. I
first
was
person
like,
shooter.
man, what's the
Yeah,
name of that game? But
yeah,
yeah,
it
they
was.
did do split screen.
Yeah,
yeah.
but first person shooter, there's four player split screen, but not first. I added first. I specifically said first person shooter because
Well, yeah,
nobody else has done it before.
they were just first person shooters before that game just didn't work on consoles because they were missing that fucking analog controller.
Hmm. So
Yeah, aiming
shout out to Goldeneye.
with the analog controller sucked. Using the up, down, left, right buttons. Like even playing fighting games suck. I mean, you could do it,
Uh,
but like it's a lot
you
easier when you
could.
have
I
the
I thought it
joystick.
sucked. I thought it sucked using the fighting games, but driving and first person shooters on the N64 worked perfectly. It was so
Yeah.
good. It was so great, especially like even with their Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark was fucking amazing on that shit. So
I wonder.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, I guess I should
Uh,
talk about it. He's not here, but I'm gonna talk about it really quickly. Monster Hunter Rise. So Monster Hunter Rise, it's on the Xbox and the PlayStation. Both families of them on each side, and it was originally on the Switch. But when you play the game, you can tell that it was a Switch game because the graphics aren't really been upgraded for current generation of consoles. Like it looks like a Switch game. I'm like, oh, like this doesn't look like super polished compared to like Monster Hunter World or anything else out there. It's like, oh, this feels like this was like just ported over. I mean, the game's still fun. It's still Monster Hunter, but there's still some people are saying that it feels like it's a little too easy because you can do these like what's that the one game from Capcom? Oh, Bionic Commando, where you can like
Oh,
throw
yeah.
light. Yeah, so you can do that kind of motion where you can just shoot out not your arm, but you shoot out like this little web swing kind of thing, and you can do it and just come across a monster, cut their heads and whatnot. And people are saying it's a little too easy. I mean, I played a bunch. I haven't played a whole lot. I played like maybe 20 hours in it. I mean, I haven't fun with it. I love Monster Hunter, but it does feel like it's a little simplistic compared to some of the other Monster Hunters. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm not that far. I'm still like Hunter rank like 3 or something. So the one thing that sucks is it's not cross-platform. It is cross-generational. So people who are on the PlayStation 4 can play with people on PlayStation 5. People on Xbox Series X and S can play with people on the One or and its variations. So you can't play with Xbox versus PlayStation, except for I think on Xbox you can play with PC players, but that's it. So
Well, you know me. I don't do Monster Hunter games because the UI is too fucking messy.
yeah, it's fucking great. So I mean, they changed a lot of stuff now. There's a lot less stuff compared to the previous Monster Hunter. So I mean, I'm gonna keep playing because I like Monster Hunter. It's a lot more fun playing with other people though. Playing with randoms is weird. 'Cause a lot of people don't fucking talk. So, oh. But yeah,
All right.
where do you guys want to go? There's more to talk about. We go super
Hey, one
crazy.
thing I was just thinking of something. So you guys, I was just thinking, what's the like a game that had the worst boss, like the most fucked up storyline at the end was Double Dragon. Because I remember like back in the day playing with like on the Nintendo with my friend's house. I spent that over there. We were playing Double Dragon all fucking night long to try to get to the end, and we finally did. Like the last boss is you have to fight against the other player to win the girl. And I was always,
Yeah.
I
That's
was just
actually
thinking about that. I'm like,
awesome.
dude, that was so fucked up.
That's
That was so
awesome.
fucked up. You had to like fight your friend to win the game, and like it depended on who had the most life left, really, or who fucking win. But that was a good like twist for
I
a
remember
game.
playing that game so much that I figured out how to like. There was a glitch you can do to like get like a glitch like melee weapon for Double Dragon. You remember that shit?
Oh
Not
shit,
really,
really?
Hold
I
on,
don't know
let me
that.
look at it and make sure I'm not tripping here.
Also,
but
I saw recently. I'm not sure. I need to fact check this, but there was something that like if you I gotta look it up because there was something that said that if you played Super Mario Brothers and you took out the game and then stuck in some other game like some racing game that it unlocked more levels, but I don't know how true that shit is
that sounds
because
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that is coming out later about like hidden Easter eggs in games. Like there's one like apparently you can continue in Super Mario Brothers after you die, like you can go back into your where you originally died at.
Oh, I heard there's some stuff that people are finding out. Like you can kind of do that. There's one where you can go. I guess there's this not a glitch, but there's a mechanic where you can go from the first level to the boss in one like two moves. Like you go through two portals and then it'll take you to the boss in Mario Brothers. I think the first one. Some guy did it on TikTok. He's like, I don't believe this happens. It's true. So he does it, and when he does, he like drops his controller. He's like, what the fuck? It's pretty awesome.
I gotta look that up because I know you can. Like, I know there's warp tubes and like
Yeah, but there's one. I guess there's a warp you got to go to. There's a part where you got to go, like when you break the ceiling, you go up top and you run through. He does one of those, and there's just like this weird thing he does, and takes you directly to the boss. He gets there in like I don't know a minute. He like loses his shit.
Yeah,
Pretty
so
funny.
if you look up the Double Dragon golf club glitch, I used to know how to do this in Double Dragon. So yeah, it's
Hmm,
basically it's like the easiest way to be like the last guys, or to be basically anybody. Yeah.
didn't know that. But I just knew the beginning was messed up because like in the very first second they punch the girlfriend in the stomach. And she is not, and they pick her up and take off. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, we lost Blue.
I guess so.
The Blue went to go verify some Super Mario stuff. She's like, let me go see this real quick. Super wild. But I guess to answer his question, I'm not sure. There's a lot of fucked up bosses out there, especially ones from like older games that were like. I remember playing Bubble Bobble, and the final boss was fucking. He was a fucking asshole. What the fuck? Like you had to do some super weird shit just to beat the boss. Like shit that felt like you were cheating just to beat the boss. Oh,
I gotta say, one of the memorable bosses for me is the original boss in
Metal Gear?
Metal Gear. In Metal Gear, yeah, because when you beat her, there's like in the background, it's playing like this badass like soul song, like this the Snake Eater song, and I was just, and it's fucking sad that you have to like kill her, and she had like this badass like stripped down M16 that was fucking dope because it had like a double beta mag and like no fucking stock, and it was just badass. Yeah, that was a really memorable boss for me. That was kind of like an interesting boss, and
Hmm.
yeah.
There's a lot of crazy stuff out there. I remember what's the game that I have? Not Darkness Falls, but it's Sanity's Requiem. Um, shit. Oh, Eternal Darkness. That's what it was. That one had a weird ass fucking ending because it was like, what the fuck? Like you have to fight your dead ancestor at the end. I
All
was like,
right.
what the hell? Yeah, because like you do all this stuff, so your ancestor is your guide, and what he does, he manipulates you into using like old demonic like witchcraft to bring him back. And then when you get to the final level, you realize like you don't want to bring him back because when he did over his lifetimes, because he's able to bring himself back over time and like kill people or eat them or whatever, you found out your ancestor is kind of an asshole. So you have to fight him to not bring him back to full strength.
Yeah.
It was super wild. It was a super crazy fucking game. It was very unique too. It's like I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, I remember that one being weird. I haven't beaten Death Stranding, but I'm sure that one has a weird ending.
That game is fucked. You'll see. That game is fucked up.
Yeah,
So
I'm on. I'm
I'm
past.
back.
Yeah, we noticed. Did you go test it out or no?
Yeah, I went to go. It didn't work, dude. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
No,
finished chapter 3. I think I'm on chapter 4 of Death Stranding. I think so.
I didn't
I'm
know
pretty
something else.
far. I'm pretty far in, but I don't remember how to play. I don't remember none of that
That's what he
stuff.
said.
that's why I keep saying, like, somebody steal the idea from me, please. Like, it's free. All right, just have a goddamn old guy, or old person mode where if you haven't played a game for like, I don't know, a couple of weeks, where you just go through a quick tutorial on how to fucking play the game to like where you're at, how to use all the moves, like where you're at. Because
Hmm.
I mean, I have like a large library of games, and some games I just kind of stopped playing, and I'd like to get back into them, but
Oh
also
yeah.
kind of forgot how to fucking play them. So
Yeah, the only game I've seen that kind of does that is Gears of War 4 and 5. They do that, and I think Titanfall does it, but I haven't played that in so long. Oh, Titanfall does it. That Titanfall has a training room where you're able to go back in and do like the four main steps. So it's the same kind of thing. But a lot of games don't do that though.
yeah, I
So
mean most games do. So 99.99999% of the games don't do that at all.
yeah. Oh, Halo Infinite does it too. They have a training room that you're supposed to do if you want to get an achievement. You have to do the training,
Well, it
and
should
you're
be
able to
like
go back to it
it
whenever
should
you
be.
want.
It shouldn't even be a training room. What it should be is the system should recognize you haven't played this game for like X amount of days. I would say 30. You
Mm.
haven't played a game in 30 days. As soon as you turn it back on, it should be like, hey, would you like to go? Would you like to refamiliarize yourself with the game mechanics again? And then it's separate from the game. And
Mm.
then once you're
Hmm.
done refamiliarizing yourself, then you can jump back into the game.
Yeah, so I
Yeah,
mean,
because
training rooms are kind of the same. Like when you're at the start menu, it gives you the choices, and one of them is training room. You just select your training, you go back to it. Okay, I remember how to do this. Then you go back to resume. So
yeah, but like I don't know, you gotta get reconfigured. You gotta get comfortable with controllers again. So you go like to back down to like basic one. Because I know like with Horizon Zero Dawn, 5 Goes West. Like I was getting heavy into the game, but then my son was born. I haven't played it since. Like, and I just made it to like the West Coast. But
oh, dude,
yeah,
fuck.
like I want to pick that game back up, but it's like, dude, I don't even know how to use the weapons anymore at this point. I'll jump back in
Yeah,
there like, okay, what the fuck does this do?
dude, that's so good, dude. I'm two trophies away from platinum on that game, and they're like semi easy kind of platforms. One of them, I gotta win one of the chess games. I forgot the name of the game, the one with the creatures you got to
Oh,
play with.
yeah, with the little wooden blocks, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then I have to win a race because I've already won a race because I didn't know what it was. I got to win one more and platinum, easy.
yeah.
So That's all I need to do. But yeah, and there's supposed to be DLC for that, but it's next gen only later on this year. So that's gonna fuck me up because I don't have PS5. So
It's not next gen anymore. Stop saying it on Ninja. It's current gen.
it's next gen.
It's current
As
gen.
far as, I don't care
It's
what you say.
current
It's
gen.
next gen.
Stop it.
As
Get
long
some
as both
help.
of those
Stop
as
it.
long as long as both those systems are available right now, it is going to be next gen.
Yeah, it's current gen, man. It's current gen. I had this
Next gen.
argument on the
Yeah,
internet
well,
the other day. Someone was talking about how they were mad about the PS5 not having next gen features. I'm like, bitch, it's current gen, first of all. So that's the end of it. There's no more argument. It's current gen. Like, don't be mad that it doesn't have fucking 16 or fucking 25, whatever, how many gigs of RAM you want it to have. It's
Mm.
current gen. It's not next
Yeah.
gen. Next gen will be the next Xbox, the next fucking Nintendo, whatever, and the next PlayStation. But for now, it's been out for years. It's current gen.
It's been out since going on 3 years.
Yeah.
We're 2 months into 2023, so about 3 years. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Here he is. B boy in the chat was talking about Hi-Fi Rush. I have not played
I want to play it.
Hi-Fi Rush yet. It's on Game Pass, so Cronus, you should be able to access it on your Steam
is
Deck.
Well,
that the?
okay, so go ahead, Blue. I'll talk about
No, I
it
was gonna
after
say is that's the game where it's like where you're like rollerblading and doing graffiti, right?
Kinda. It's not
Or is it a
Jet Set
different game?
Radio. What
that.
it
It's
is,
Set the Radio is a great game.
it looks like Jet Set Radio, but instead of
That's what it
like
was. Yeah.
spray painting, you're doing like rhythm. You're doing like rhythm tapping to fight. So
So
it does like
like
you gotta do it on the
wrap up,
beat.
papa.
Kinda, but it's
Parappa
like
the
more
Rapper.
fluid, I guess. Power Rapid, yeah, I guess it's more fluid in order to hit like certain combos and stuff. I don't have the game yet. I watched some gameplay.
No,
It
it's
looks
like
fucking wild,
no, it's
but
like
it's on Game
hold
Pass.
on. I gotta remember the name of the game because it's on my Steam Deck. There's a game. It's called. Hold on. Hopefully it's not dead because I haven't played it in a while.
You haven't played your Steam Deck in a while?
No, I mean like probably like a week or two. Uh, Metal Hellsinger. Have you all heard of that one before?
That sounds
Mm-mm.
familiar.
It's like this game where it's a
It's
first
like a
person
dope
shooter.
band.
Yeah, it's like it's basically it's like Doom, but if you do everything to the beat of like the song that's playing, first like you do more damage. Second, it adds more layers into the song. So it's like
That's
and it's
fucking
all
cool.
metal. Yeah, and so it's a really fun game to play. So like if you suck at the game, like you never even get vocals in the fucking metal song. But if you're good at it, like doing everything like shooting on the beat, like moving to the beat, then it adds like layers into the song. Like first it's just like the drum beat, and then if you do like a 4 times multiplier, you get like the rhythm guitar, and then you do better, then you get like the lead guitar. You do them better, then you get the vocals in. So yeah, it's dope, and it's all rhythm based.
Yeah, so I have yet to try the game. I'm probably gonna uninstall um High on Life as much as I liked it. I'm not trying to like. I mean, I already
Well, when you're
got
done,
the
you're
game.
done. Like there's
Yeah, I'm
no
done.
yeah.
I mean, I can go back and get more achievements or whatnot, but it's like I'm done. I can uninstall it now, and I can do Hi-Fi Rush because it's getting a lot of accolades already. People are loving it. I saw some of the stuff. It looked fucking cool. It reminded me of Jet Set Radio because I love that game. I used to have it. Someone stole it from me. Fucking jerks.
I had
But
that shit
I mean,
on my Dreamcast.
oh yeah, I had the Xbox version. It wasn't the same, but it was still pretty cool.
Holy shit! Hold on, an older married guy with kids, older than me. He's got a fucking PS5, and he's got fucking
I,
twins.
yeah, I have an Xbox Series X instead though. So there you go. That's how I'm able to play all these Game Pass games. 'Cause I have the Series X, and they're able to play like High on Life, which is exclusive to the Series X. Well,
No.
exclusive to Game Pass, I guess.
I was gonna
So
say because I played it on my Steam Deck. Beat the whole game
yeah,
on my Steam Deck.
it's exclusive to Game Pass, but there's more games coming.
I didn't play on the game. It's not exclusive to Game Pass because it's on Steam.
It's on Steam. I thought
Yeah.
it was just on Game Pass.
No,
I don't
no.
know if it's on Steam. Okay,
I
well,
mean, it's the same. I mean, it's a slippery slope because people talk about how Forspoken is a PS5 exclusive, but it's not. It's on fucking PC.
yeah, it's on the
So
PC. Yeah, I was about to say. Well, I thought it released on PC like literally same day. So yeah, and then like Last of Us is now on PC now. I'm pretty sure
yeah,
it was not
like a bunch of I'm sorry, PlayStation exclusives are ending up on.
on PC. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Uncharted is supposed to be on PC. I don't know if it's out or it's coming. one of the two, like real soon. So, and that's like Sony's flagship, one of their flagship series. So, and soon
Does
God of
Sony
War
still
will
make?
probably be on PC.
It already is.
Does Sony still make
Oh,
laptops or computers?
Sony? Yeah, yeah.
yeah, they do.
Oh,
They're pretty expensive, but
the Vinos or whatever.
Vio.
Mm,
yeah, the Sony
Yeah.
Vio. I mean, so when they sold the Vio, they're all purple. Like the exterior was purple.
Back in
I
the
was like, what
day.
the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Why is there a purple laptop?
Got to be different.
I guess so. I just thought it funny.
I
I'm
mean,
like, what the
Gateway had the
fuck?
fucking whole cow thing. Remember Gateway back in the day?
Dude, I
That's
Oh
remember
fucking
them
outdated.
breaking.
yeah, I remember that.
I remember everyone's gateway fucking broke within like 3 months.
Yeah,
Something happened.
those things.
Either there was either memory errors or like a hard drive error. Those are the two big things. It's pretty funny. But yeah.
Do you remember
Uh,
when Max released the iMac with the different colors and stuff like that? Like everybody's all,
oh my
ooh,
Yeah.
god.
they're thinking outside the box. Yeah, you just have a
Um.
monitor with keyboard,
So,
fancy
uh,
ass peak colors.
Prodigy's not in here, but we got to kind of talk about because it was all the rage last Thursday. So, Eminem announced that they're discontinuing their spokes candies, and they've been around for like 10, maybe 15 or longer, maybe longer. And they're going to be replaced by Maya Rudolph. And all this kind of stemmed from like this huge like debate on like Fox News and the Tucker Carlson show. I don't even know the name of the show, where
I
they couldn't
mean,
figure
What
out
it
like
all?
they
Yeah, it all
couldn't
started
figure out which
because
was
they
female.
they changed the character one of the characters. I guess all the characters changed their shoes. That's what it comes down to. Because the green M&M
Oh,
had
so
like high
the two of
heels
them, the
shoes
two
on. They
women,
switch over to sneakers.
the two girl M and M's. They changed the green one, who was a girl. They changed her like heels to sneakers, and changed the black one, the dark chocolate one. They changed her to like heeled boots, and Tucker Carlson lost it. And he went on like some campaign. It was like some weird ass campaign. You think I'm kidding? Go on YouTube. Actually, I think we posted it on fucking our site, but you can literally look at Tucker Carlson and Eminem's and him crying about he doesn't know which sex is which.
I
And there's
mean,
literally
it's
So
a roundtable discussion on like Fox News about which M&Ms they should be representing, why this is appropriate, why are we doing this? Like, what the fuck?
I feel bad for that guy because he seems like a really just repressed guy, and like
I don't.
honestly, if your whole thing is like first of all noticing that M and M's change shoes,
Mm-hmm.
that's not something you should be noticing. I don't really take stock of any candy fake character doing anything in life because I'm an adult. The only time I might notice it is if my kid tells me, and then guess what? I still don't give a fuck because it's shit I don't really generally consume, and it doesn't really have anything to do with like anything. Yeah, I don't understand why him and like all these conservatives. It just shows like how repressed they are that they have to like cling on to these things that have nothing to do with fucking anything. But they just I don't know. They like I said, they're just these repressed people that don't know how to
Oh,
deal with
oh,
life, and it's not even real life. It's just
oh, wow,
fake
this is
shit.
yeah.
interesting.
They're animated. They're animated candies. On top of that, I guess the purple one is supposed to be trans, and there's another one that's
Oh
supposed to
god.
be like, it's like
I mean,
they,
this again doesn't matter. Doesn't
yeah,
matter. They're just
it should
it's fake
matter,
things.
but they're freaking out, and so now Eminem backpedaled and like we're gonna replace our spokespeople or our spokes candies with Maya Rudolph. Don't get me wrong, Maya Rudolph is fucking great. She's hilarious. She's such a great comedian. She's a good actress, but I mean, the spokes candies, they're like kind of like a staple. I'm pretty sure they have their own
Well,
game.
yeah, they do. So this is crazy. So I'm looking at the people who do the voices of the characters. So first of all, the early black and white ads for the candy was in 1954, where they kind of had like the characters there, but then like they weren't fully colored. It wasn't until like
Was it because it was in black
1994
and white?
they used CGI. Yeah, because it was
Oh.
black and white. But so so the red M&M was voiced by John Lovitz
Oh,
for a while. Then it was picked up by Billy West, which I think that's the voice of Fry, right?
John Lovitz
From
is
it's the
like
voice of a
I'm
bunch of
pretty sure,
people.
yeah, John Lovitz
no
is
no
pretty
Bill
easy.
Billy West. I'm
Let's
talking about
see.
Billy West. He's the voice of Fry from Futurama.
Yes, but he's also the voice of like
Yeah,
a lot of people, a lot of
yeah, a whole bunch of
different
people.
characters.
Let's see. So for the Yellow M&M, originally it was John Goodman, which I
Oh
think is
shit.
cool. Then it was J.K. Simmons, which I think is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Oh,
Um,
that's awesome.
he does it now. Yeah,
That's
he does the
awesome.
voice of
Well,
him
not no
now.
more. Not no more.
Well, not anymore. Uh, Cree Summer does the voice of the Green M&M,
Wow.
That makes so
Cree
much sense.
Summers
which
is
makes sense because she's
yeah,
does everything.
and she's
Um,
still quite
let's see.
attractive.
So yeah.
Wow, this one's shocking. Vanessa Williams does the Miss Brown or the Brown M&M.
Oh, the most because
I did not know that.
she's the most
Oh
recent
wow.
one though, so I get it.
Purple is Amber Ruffin.
Right.
Caramel is David Cross, and then Pretzel Guy is
That makes so much sense. That's hilarious.
I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name,
Wait, who?
but he's
What's
the
the
voice
last?
of Pinky and the Brain. It's
Oh,
Maurice
oh.
Marchi.
So that guy's hilarious. So what he used to do for Nerdist, he would do like a roundtable thing during the pandemic. So they would be in the studio, it'd be him and another voice actor. What they would do is they would read like serious lines from like movies in their cartoon voices. So he'd have guest stars. They would like read the lines from like Die Hard or something, and they would read it as Pink in the Brain and some other like character, and they would do
Oh
that
yeah,
for like
yeah.
various shit. It was fucking hell. It was so funny. Like when they were reading it, they would start laughing because and they couldn't finish the scene because they were laughing so hard. That shit was so fucking funny.
Dude, that's like the guy who does the voice of Kratos from God of War, when he does the dad jokes.
Yeah.
That shit
Yeah.
is fucking hilarious. So you got to do yourself a favor. Look up
Christopher Judge.
Kratos. Yeah, Christopher Judge dad jokes. They're fucking hilarious. But yeah, I remember one of my favorite commercials for M&M commercial is when they introduced the brown M&M and yellow and red came to a party and like they saw the brown M&M. They're like, oh, it's that kind of party. He like takes off his candy shell and he's like flipping over his head and
Yeah,
that
I
song
remember that shit. Forgot about
and
it.
I know it plays in the background. It's just fucking funny, dude.
Yeah. That was a great
Uh,
commercial.
Oh god.
so
See,
The
all
Green
these.
Eminem had two actresses, Cree Summer and Larissa Murray. Why does Larissa
Mhm.
Murray sound familiar? That sounds very familiar. Who's this person? Let me
Yeah.
look up her up real quick.
But yeah, like the M&M commercials, they were all a lot of fun. I mean, they wanted to introduce because before we started with red and yellow, and then they added more characters, and it just I don't know,
Hmm.
kind of add to the lore. I mean, the candies are in multicolored, so why can't they have
So
multicolored characters?
we can't have nice things because of
Yeah,
racist
Apparently
no
not,
shit.
racist white people.
or because or repressed white people.
What's also racist white people.
Sure.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird that they. I mean, the joke around Twitter was that because Tucker Carlson couldn't figure out which Eminem he wanted to fuck, he became confused and started to rant on his show about it.
He's probably the guy in the bathroom at a truck stop. Like
Oh,
I'm not
I
gay.
already know,
I
I
just go
already know
to
where you're
truck stop bathrooms.
all bad, dude.
I wonder how many M and M's Tucker Carlson puts up his ass every night, and
God
if they're
damn.
peanuts or almonds or just plain M and M's.
You know it's got
You
to
know
be
what he's
peanuts, so
doing.
you can just squirt them right back out. Just
That's
pop,
what I'm
pop, pop.
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the peanuts. You can feel them go in, and then you can
Yeah.
shoot them right back out, right? Because after your asshole absorbs
What a
the
fucking machine.
chocolate, you get the peanut and just right back out.
That's that kind of guy. I'm just saying. He does
Just
weird shit
saying.
like that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not surprised in the least. And there you go, Prodigy. That was for you. Because I know you wanted to talk about it, but we're gonna do it without you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a
All right,
couple.
I'm gonna actually take.
Go ahead.
Oh wait, go ahead.
No, you go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna take the wheel for a little bit.
Go
So
ahead.
I kind of wanted to jump into a little bit of DC stuff. There's two
Oh
things I
yeah,
checked
yeah.
out recently. So on HBO Plus, they just posted up, or they just have on there for streaming. Batman and Superman Battle of Super Sons. So we get an adaptation of Super Sons. So we get Damian Wayne and Connor Kent, not Connor, no, Jonathan Kent, Superman's son, which is named after his dad, and we got to see them kind of come together and save the world. And overall, the story and animation, or I don't want to talk about the animation. The story was really good. I like the story. we have John Kent. He's just a regular kid, thinks his parents are fucking dorks and stuff like that, and then he discovers my dad's Superman, which they did really good. I thought they really did a really good job at that. I mean, this isn't really spoiler. I mean, we all know that Superman has a son, but no,
Really?
it was really
Did
done.
you know that
I
he's
thought it was done
gay
really
too?
well.
I'm sorry, he's bi.
He's
He's
bi.
bi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's later.
So
But
do you
no,
know
like
Superman has a daughter and a son?
that's
Depending
true.
on
Depends on what story or
depending on
whatever
who's
universe.
writing and what universe.
Yeah.
He has a daughter and a son. There's also a universe where he has two sons.
hmm Well,
Uh,
in Lois and Superman, he has two sons. He has Jonathan
yeah, he has
and
Jonathan and what's it? The one that's named
other
after
blonde kid.
Jordan. Jordan's names
Yeah,
are his.
Jordan.
So they're both. So Jonathan is named after his Earth father, Jonathan. Jordan is named after Jor-El, his Kryptonian father.
Interesting. I have a friend whose
That's on the
son
show.
name is Jor-El.
Oh,
It is.
Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage named his son Jor-El.
Oh yeah, Nick Cage is a huge Superman fan.
He's a
But
huge.
yeah, overall, I thought the movie was really good. I mean, it's not up there, like still like Batman Under the Red Hood is one of my
Oh, no,
favorites because
that
it's
was so
like
good.
holy shit, like goddamn. But then also like Batman versus his son. I think it's Batman and Son. That one's really good. But this one's good. It was fun to watch. I just have a problem with like it's a CGI animation and it's just I don't know, it just doesn't fit right with this. Like, I'm not sure if it's the genre or if it's just like I don't know. Like Superman, like there's a scene where Superman or Clark, he looks over swole, like his upper body's like bigger than his legs. Like it looks like he skipped leg day, and I'm like, this looks weird. Like he's just proportionate. But one funny thing is that like I posted in the chat or in our little group chat is that Damien, this kid has a tight fucking fade. Like the fade on his head, like his little hairline and stuff, where it fades into like the longer hair. That shit was on point. Like I was like, wow, they really did a really good job of doing his hair. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like CG animated. Like I don't know. I just feel like this should have been like, because I mean, exactly what is CGI? Like, isn't like pretty much everything that like posted kind of CGI? But this one just the graphics just were. I kind of took me away from it. But overall, the story was still pretty good. One other thing I want to cover is that oh, Chronos posted this up earlier, or at least let me know that it finally went live. Harley Quinn and Joker Sound Mind posted
Mhm.
on Spotify this week. It's a 7 episode long series. And I listened to all of it in one fucking day. They're like 20 minutes long.
Well, there's only
It's
two out
really
though,
fucking
right?
good.
Uh,
No, all 7 are posted.
Oh shit! I only listened to two. Fuck.
Yeah.
All 7 are there. But it's not as great as the Batman on Barry because Batman on Barry had like crazy fucking shit happen. But you feel bad for Harley Quinn in this storyline and like the shit that she goes through, what like her meeting like the Mr. J and like everything that's going on in Gotham. But Harley Quinn has a theory about like what's going on in Gotham, and it makes you think like, whoa, is she fucking right? Like, is all this crazy shit happening because of a certain reason? And I'm like, damn, like she even brings up like proof about it too. Like she had like evidence and even Bruce Wayne gets behind it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you some money and look into this and we'll see what happens. But like,
It's been a long running
yeah, man,
theory, throughout Batman for a while. Is like, what causes all these supervillains to be in this one spot, and it's maybe because of one person. So
yeah,
I mean,
and
that's been brought up. It's been brought up to him before, though, like numerous times. So
oh yeah. But overall, I thought it was really good. The Christina Ricci is
yeah,
the
yo,
voice of Harley Quinn, and she does a really good job. She doesn't do the whole like high pitch, "Hey, Mr. J" type voice. Like she just does like a really good Harley Quinn. Like we don't get Harley Quinn. We get Harley Quinzel, which is her name before she joins the Joker. So that's really cool. But she did a really good job, and like the effects are there. Like some of the we get a couple of other back characters that are pretty good. The guy who does the voice of Batman or Bruce Wayne does a pretty good job.
the voice
The
of
guy
the
who does the
Joker
voice
was
of
actually
Joker,
decent too.
pretty
Yeah,
good job.
especially like his laughs. His laughs are really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, it's really. So we have a Spotify account. Go check it out. After you check that out, check out Batman Unburied. And there's actually another one. There's a Batman. I can't think what it's called, but it's also on HBO Max. But it's a Batman audio series that you can listen to, which I have it on HBO Max, and I listened to like episode 1 and 2. I think it's kind of a spinoff of Batman the animated series. But it kind of goes into a bunch of stories from that universe, and they actually have it on Spotify as well. So I'm listening to that also. But yeah, that's it for me. But yeah, check it out.
Speaking of, as B Boy brought it up, speaking of DC, y'all see the announcements that their roadmap for DC for their new movies and TV shows that got announced
I haven't seen
today.
the roadmap, but I heard Kevin Feige, not Kevin Feige, who was it?
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna talk about how like we're trying to bring everything together, kind of like what Disney is doing with Marvel, having TV shows and games and movies kind of all tied together. Because right now DC it's the Wild Wild West. The
So that's
animated stuff
yeah.
totally separate than their TV series versus their movies.
So the thing that got me was the games, because so far to me, I haven't seen any games on the Disney side that linked to the MCU. Everyone thought Avengers was going to, and it didn't. It was its own separate thing. And so
Yeah,
with them linking games in, because we know we're supposed to get Suicide Squad this year, so there's rumors that it's supposed to tie into one of some of the movies. But on the map, it shows like the main core DC films, but then everything else that's not within that was called Elseworlds, and it also lists like the end of the DCU, and then it has like a reset in the middle of the fucking like at the top of the map. There's a reset with the slew of films that's about to end. So I guess they were saying that the upcoming Flash, Shazam, which will be out in like 2 months, I think, I think April or May, and then Aquaman 2, which will lead into like the new series. I guess Aquaman 2 will lead into the reset apparently, and then everything else that's outside of that will be like Joker Part 2, Batman, the newly announced Batman Part 2 by Matt Reeves. There's a couple other projects. Those will be Elseworlds. So they have like a very clear separation of what's what. As
I mean,
before they didn't. Before there was no clear distinction what was what. It was just kind of everywhere.
yeah.
So
I mean, the Flash. I want to say the Flash did it first, but like the Flash brought the TV universe and the Marvel. I mean, not Marvel.
oh,
The
mhm.
cinematic universe together with the little Flash meets Flash, which Spider-Man copied because
Oh yeah,
Flash
yeah.
did
I
it
mean,
first.
to be honest, yeah, you ain't lying. I mean, the Flash did it first.
Well, actually,
Also,
the Flash did it before. Wait, the Flash did it before the Flash because we got Garrett Gretson because we got the original Flash from like the 80s, maybe 90s Flash,
Yeah.
so on the
the guy who
show
plays his father
he does. So
because he comes back as a
he
Flash.
plays he plays three different versions of two of them are the same character. One of them is his dad. So in the original show, he was Barry Allen. In this one,
Grant Gretson.
he was Henry Allen. Then he plays Jay Garrett Flash, the
Yeah,
Golden Age Silver Age Flash, and then he plays Elseworlds Flash, like a Flash that goes across different universes Flash. But he's Jay Garrett still. So but in this one, we did have the movies meet the TV series in one spot where they're not really connected, but they still get to see each other. That shit was hilarious. It's like a
that show's
3 minute
great.
scene, but it's fucking funny. It was awesome though at the same time. So speaking of which, I kind of gotta concede a little bit on this. Normally, this does not happen on the podcast very often, but I'm gonna have to pull back on what I had said from podcasts ago. I want to say like a year or two ago, and like re-agree with Prodigy. Yeah, I know a lot of you like saying, "What the fuck?" Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, I get it. But I'm gonna have to agree with Prodigy on one item, and it's about what Bluewood just brought up was the Flash. So on the Flash, so to bring it back to our podcast just a bit, Prodigy had once said that the Flash was a cosmic character, and everybody jumped on him. They're like, "Ah, what are you talking about? The Flash is just a Flash. He's not cosmic. He's not Silver Surfer. He's not, Galactus or like Kang the Conqueror or anything like that. But I do understand that with at the time it was Rebirth. Rebirth, he was like kind of all over the place. He was going through different universes, but he was still kind of like his own kind of solo thing. And I wasn't reading the Flash at that time. However, the TV show kind of brings up some of the stuff that Project brought up about one the Speed Force and these other forces that the Flash can either interact with or flat out can take control of or just manipulate. And they do that on the TV show. So now I kind of get what Prodigy was talking about these cosmic forces and how they affected the Flash or how he affected them. So I gotta unfortunately give him props about what he was talking about from a couple of years ago. I want to say it's like 2, 3 years ago.
No, fuck that dude. The Flash ain't got
Yeah.
the Flash ain't got the bro force. I'm just saying. Got
Damn.
out the bro force.
I mean, I'm gonna do this on the show before he's not here, so we'll see if he watches tonight's episode. Then he'll be able to gloat next week, or he just won't even bring it
I
up.
ain't gonna say shit. He's busy. He's busy letting down his
Who it
ancestors
is?
by being sick on the first day of Black History Month. I'm just saying.
That's true. You know why? Because it's with the Fuda, a non a non African American Fuda by that. So it's probably what got him sick. That's what he gets.
Well, it could be like the dude from oh god, what's the name of that movie? The don't drink your juice in South Central while wait, don't be a menace to South Central while drinking juice in the hood. The one black guy who's like he fucks white chicks just because of his ancestors and
Oh yeah,
I can't remember what he fucking said, but like he was like, yeah, I do white chicks just to make up for stuff that happened to us or whatever.
that's hella
There you
funny.
go.
Can we talk about something else kind of really quickly? Because it's been burning for a little bit. I know we talked about it briefly in our private chat, but the Academy Awards got announced like last week.
Okay.
There's some pretty interesting nominations there. The one that I saw
Wait,
that
what's
go
the
ahead.
what's the Academy Awards about? Because I mean, we got the Grammys was about something, the Oscars about something. We have the
What do
daytime
you mean about
Emmys,
some
and
things?
what is the Emmys about? Like what does it cover?
The Academy Awards they cover
Or the
Movies,
Academy Awards?
movies mostly.
excellence in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, movies, documentaries, and animated films,
All right.
or animated shorts.
Long form movies. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always get all those things confused.
It's all
All I
good.
know
yeah.
is Grammys about music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing that came up really big was anything, everything,
Everything.
everywhere,
Yeah.
all at once.
Yeah.
That came along with the most nominations. And it's funny because it's an indie film, but like the movie, I've seen the movie itself, and I was blown away by the
I
film.
saw it too. It's fantastic.
I gave it high praise. It was so well done. It had literally everything, all the feels was in that movie. So
Dude, they did the
I was
they did the multiverse correct.
Yeah, they did a good multiverse. I
Yeah.
was I was super surprised. I was like, how is this movie gonna give me a multiverse that I'm going to be okay with? And it did it.
It
It
makes sense.
yeah, it made sense. It was comedic. It was sad. It was like heartfelt. It had action. It had kung fu with dildos. Like literally, some chick kills a dude with a fucking dildo.
Yeah.
Like
And guys were fighting with gigantic butt plugs. I was just like,
yeah,
all right, that's where we're going now. Okay.
yeah, that's where they went, and and
Could
it
you
worked
could
out.
could you imagine that's how you like unlock a fighting ability? You have to like stick
No,
a butt plug.
nope. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But it worked in so many ways. Um,
What was the
I'm
budget for that
very,
movie? What was
I'm
that?
very, I'm very, kind of. I don't want to say prideful, but I'm very, I can't say proud because I don't know the guy, but I'm very elated that Ki Ki Kwan, he's
Hugh Kwan?
nominated. He's nominated for an Academy Award. He was away from Hollywood for 20 years.
Apparently something happened to him. I haven't. I've seen videos about it, but I haven't watched them yet. But
So
something
the
happened
only
to
thing,
him.
like a physical thing, like an
No,
accident.
there's a reason. There's a reason why he hasn't been in Hollywood for a while. But I
So the
need to like.
reason
I need to look it up.
So the reason I saw that he left Hollywood is because he was not getting the roles that he felt were representative of him. He felt like they were very stereotypical
Oh, okay.
or downright racist. So
Yeah.
he left Hollywood. And when he came back, when they offered him a role that I guess it was after Crazy Rich Asians. He was like, "Oh, Hollywood gets it now. Now I can be in films that are more representative of my people and my culture
Good for
that
him.
give substance." And he came back after all these years and knocks out a Golden Globe, or no, he knocks out a Golden Globe nomination and an Oscar nomination after being away
Oh,
from Hollywood for like 20 years. And there's people who've
oh,
been trying to chase that shit for fucking decades, and this dude comes out, hits a banger on that
it
shit.
looks like we're gonna see him in Loki.
Yeah,
It says
Yeah,
he's
in
getting
September
roles.
he was announced to be in Loki. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yep.
good for him. He was a part of a storm coordination team for like a few movies. It just
Hmm.
hasn't played like an actual like acting role in movies
Yeah,
for a
because
long time.
he felt like Hollywood didn't get it. They didn't get it right.
And they didn't.
After
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we
Yeah,
get it. We've seen it. We've talked. You, Cronus, I'm talking to you. You and Bunny Man have talked about it a few times about the fear of the Yellow Man
Yeah.
and just like stereotypical roles. And when Key Kwan when he saw um, Crazy Rich Asians, he got it. He's like, okay, I feel like now I can try to come back. And he didn't know what to do, and he got the script, found out Michelle Yeoh was in it. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do it, and he did it, and boom, he's now at the Oscars, first year back. Like,
dude, this is he's like I'm looking at the his award announcements or nominees, and he's got I mean a lot of them are I think from everywhere, sometimes something everywhere.
Everything everywhere all at once. How dare you? It
Yeah. It's a long fucking name for a title.
is.
But oh yeah, it looked like he won a lot of fucking awards. It's kind of
yeah, the
cool. But
movie's really good, and he deserves every one. I hope he does. I hope either him or Michelle Yeoh get an Oscar, at least one of them. And it's also nominated for Best Picture. If it gets Best Picture, I'm cool with that too. I think it's well deserved. I've not seen the rest of the Best Picture films except for Wakanda, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is the first
which
or
is now on
second.
Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's nominated for an Oscar for Best Fucking Picture. We also got Angela Bassett, who's a phenomenal actress or actor. I'm not sure the PC term now, but she's nominated for Best Actress or Actor in the film. I guess for the Academy's actress. I mean,
So
I've
the
seen the film. She does pull a great. She's in the film a lot, and she has like some pretty good, a very strong performance. So I
yeah, I'm
get
gonna
it.
watch that after the podcast. But the
It's a
budget
long film.
for everything everywhere all at once was it was $14 million.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
they
an
made
Did
that
they
indie
shit
film.
actually?
back.
It's super
Yeah, the
small, man.
animation, but they didn't. I mean, right now, box office wise, it's only set at 105 million. I wonder if this is
Because
current.
it's an indie film and didn't sit in a whole lot of theaters, but when it
Mm.
was in theaters, people flocked to see it. I saw it. When I saw it, it was a pretty good sized crowd, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" I saw the movie
I
and it
think
was wow. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis. So
I think
D Smack's Nemesis, she's nominated for an
most of
Oscar.
that budget probably went straight to the actors because they do have a good top tier list of actresses in this.
They have a great set of actors, and
Yeah,
and they a lot of them are well known, except for like the actress who plays the daughter. I don't know who she is. I've never seen her. I didn't watch Crazy Rich Asians, but Michelle Yeoh, I knew Jamie Lee Curtis, and I knew Kwan. So I wanted to
for
see it. Go ahead.
I thought that the girl who played the daughter was also in Harley Quinn, but that's just me being ignorant.
Oh, I mean,
Because the girl who steals the diamond from in
yeah,
Harley Quinn,
that girl's way younger.
eh, well, not just way younger, but I just thought it was her because she's Asian.
It's racist.
I know.
But yeah, there's also some other films that are on there, like Avatar. Even though Avatar's not nominated for Best Picture, it's nominated for Special Effects or some shit. Um, I don't remember. There's like 10 Best Pictures. I haven't seen a lot of them. I know there's some controversy about one of the actresses that got nominated. Everyone's saying she shouldn't have not gotten nominated. I guess I don't know. I don't care that much, but the people that are nominated, I get it. I hope they do well. So
Did we talk about the girl who got nominated for a Razzie? The girl
no,
who was like 12. Did we talk about it on the podcast yet or no?
No,
no,
because
just recent.
they also pulled it. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, the damage is kind of done. Like, if you heard that you were up for a Razzie and you're like 12 years old, I mean, that's kind of fucked up.
yeah, I brought it up. So the girl that was the actress in Firestarter, I think it was.
It is
Firestarter.
Firestarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, she was nominated for a Razzie, which is, um, yeah, her name is Kira Armstrong, and she's not even an adult. So, yeah, it's kind of messed up. And they pulled it after like some really quick backlash, a lot of really quick backlash, and yeah, I don't understand why they thought it was a good idea. They just it passed through multiple layers of people, and they thought it was a good idea, but obviously it was not.
Yeah. And I know the Razzies are like fun humor stuff, making fun of like movies and stuff like that. But yeah, they kind of took it a little too far when they mess around because we've seen childhood actresses like get bullied online to the point where like they stop acting. Like oh, I can't think of the name of the actress. There's somebody
Oh,
recently
Jake
that
Jake Lloyd. Jake Lloyd was one of them. He got bullied so bad he left acting.
that's the guy who played Anakin, right?
Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, but there was someone recent too, or and I guess not recent, but I don't think she was a child, but like the actress who played the Asian girl from Star Wars,
Oh
the
no,
one
she's
that
still
kissed
going.
I thought she like kind of I guess
You
she
talking about
just deleted her Twitter accounts and stuff like that because she was getting a
Kelly
bunch of
Marie?
backlash for stuff.
You know Kelly Marie Tran? No, she's still acting. She's in fact she's in an Apple or no a Facebook show that has her and what's her name, Elizabeth Olsen in it. Well, they're in this weird like family kind of drama where she's like dating her sister and her it's like super messed up, but pretty interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, but Kelly Marie Tran is still acting. In fact, she's in Ryan the Last Dragon or whatnot, or Ryan the Dragon, the Disney film. She's the main actress in that.
Oh, she does the
So
voice of that
she
character.
does the
I don't
voice.
know that.
She does the voice of the character with the sword. The main. She's the main character.
Ryan.
It's her and Aquafina. And then but if you look, there's two people. So actress in a supporting role. Both of there's two people from Everything Everywhere All at Once that are nominated, along with Angela Bassett. It's like
Well, I'm talking
super.
about like kids who were like or kid actors who was like bullied to the point where they stopped acting.
I don't know
Or
about
even a lot of like regular actors, same thing where they get bullied into stuff and they kind of give up acting. There was somebody recently, I can't think of who it was, but I don't know. It's just fucked up. Like we can't like make fun of kids who are out there trying to do something because it's a hard craft, especially when it comes to kids. Like there's a lot of rules and limitations for them. So a lot of times that shit kind of falls on the director too.
Oh shit! I wasn't paying attention. It looks like Avatar is nominated for Best Picture. That's interesting. But I really don't think it's gonna win. Not with movies like So Blue, you saw Elvis and you hated this movie.
I
I
mean,
hated
it's
that
fucking
movie.
Elvis. I mean,
Yeah. But looks like Avatar is nominated for Best Picture, and so is Top Gun Maverick. That's
Top Gun was
interesting.
good,
Yeah,
Maverick
it
was
was
fucking
good.
dope.
but
The fact
everything.
that he used a fucking another jet plane as a shield, that shit was a great. I was like, how the fuck you don't do that?
But still, everything, everywhere, all at once.
That's
Yeah.
a great film. It's a great film. Oh, so Wakanda Forever is not nominated for Best Picture, but it is nominated for a couple other um, categories. One being Best Supporting Actress or Best Actress. So
Well,
I think some other like technical kind of stuff. So yeah, like visual effects, stuff like that. So
can we get to the real shit now?
go ahead.
Yeah.
What everybody else that's listening to this podcast wants to talk about? The Last of
Titties?
Us.
Oh
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
what the fuck? I mean, we've been what a couple hours now in,
Damn.
yeah, and
and
power in. Yeah.
still not talk about The Last of Us. Two
Go ahead. Go
episodes have
ahead.
come out since our last podcast. First of all, sorry about missing the last podcast. It was my fault. My kid was sick, and it was just me because Kay was on a business trip. Uh, but The Last of Us, holy shit, they are redefining what a adaptation should be, and they've made a bunch of changes in the show that are different from the game, that are meaningful, they're well thought out, and they are fucking fantastic. Every single last one of them that I've seen so far, I agree with. Let's start with episode 2 because we'll talk about episode 3 because episode 3 is something fucking
That
special. Episode 3, I'll just give a premise. Episode 3 of The Last of Us was one of the best episodes that I've seen of anything fucking ever. Literally. But let's go to episode 2. So do y'all remember how episode 2 started?
Let me think. It's episode 2.
With Ellie, and she wakes up from sleeping after she showed them that she was bit. And
Yeah,
Joel,
yeah. So,
yeah. I
but
remember.
just from a filming aspect is that when they wake up and they're like, I don't think they're in a mall or anything, but she's like waking up and she's like in a little grassy field area, which I thought was cool. But then like as it panned out, like she's inside of like an abandoned building. But here she is, like there's all this stuff around, but we have her just kind of laying this little patch of grass, which just happened to grow in a certain area. I thought that was kind of really cool. And then we pan out and like Joe and was it Tess, right? That's the girl
Yeah,
that
it's
was
her
with them.
Test. Yeah, it's him and Test.
Yeah, and they're kind of hanging out in this one spot. But because for me, I never played the game, so I don't know what the fuck is going to happen next. And for me, I'm loving the show just because it's super thrilling. But no, oh wait, the opening part of the show was that we're in was it Thailand or we were
No,
somewhere
it's Singapore, I think, or Bangladesh. Is Singapore or
something like
Bangladesh?
that where we have like this one woman, she's just kind of doing her thing, and like police showed up. It's like, hey, are you such and such? Come with us. And then we got to see the not the first person that, but the first maybe second wave of people being affected, and we get to see like how the plants are growing in their bodies and or the fungus. If they're
So
not plants or fungus.
this blue was not in the game at all. Show my beer. Anyway, that whole part was Jakarta, as Killer Frost is saying, which, okay. That whole scene was not in the game. And this is another one of the changes in the show that I really like because it expands upon the actual game, is like them showing that, giving hints to what led up to the pandemic, really, like the end of the world.
I'm
And,
about to say the collapse.
yeah, really, yeah, the collapse of the world, and like showing how fucking serious it was and how people knew how serious it was. So anyway, go ahead and tell the rest.
Well, what's crazy is because like the first episode, we got a little snippet like, oh yeah, it's this one fungus because of climate change and stuff like that. It's going to get used to higher temperatures where it will eventually be able to adapt in the human body. And then we get to see this fucking shit go down. And as one scientist is like, can I go now? And like she just sit down in the room. And the guy comes over. It's like, hey, can we find a cure? Is there like some kind of vaccine or something? She's like, no, there's only one fucking vaccine for this. And she said dropping bombs. Like literally just wiping out fucking people, which I was like, God damn, they fucking went there. Like she started tearing up because she knew that that's the only way to get rid of this fungus growth is to basically kill off all the people. Then we jump into the show, which I was like, holy shit, what the fuck that guy doing to me? My fucking emotions. I'm having fucking panic attacks.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna get worse. That's all.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if there's a Last of Us 2, it's gonna get way worse.
Yeah, way worse. Oh boy,
way fucking worse.
You ain't ready. You ain't ready.
I'm really glad I didn't play the game just because like I don't know what the fuck is going to happen next.
Well,
like,
honestly, like play the game now. Like it's making me. I mean, there's already been like a 300% increase on in the game sales since the show came out, and it actually has me going back to want to play the game again because of the changes they made. So like, we'll talk about the third episode in a little bit, but there's like a character in the third episode where I was like, I remember the character, but I don't remember like all this shit happening, and it was a significant change from the game, but I like the change. Anyway, back to episode 2. There was like a lot of things that both Blue and Prodigy caught that I didn't from both of those 2 episodes.
oh
and,
yeah,
and one of them was the fact that, well, I guess they talk about it in episode 3, so I'll wait till episode 3 to talk about that. But yeah, in episode 2 with that lady, like all that backstory was so important for the total story. And I think it was just like really some of the puzzle pieces that could have been put in there. That was really nice. And then also like Joel and Tess like really coming to grips with, this person, um, maybe perhaps being like the savior of all mankind, and Tess is like a true believer, and Joel is not. He's just like, I don't believe that she got bit and she's just okay, and she's gonna turn eventually, and fuck all that shit. She was gonna kill her like immediately, and then Tess
Yeah.
was the one
Like,
that calmed him down. Go ahead.
yeah, with Tess, she was like, "Yeah, look, like this is the one. This is the one. Like this one is really happening." And Joe was like, "Yo, we've heard this shit before. Like you can tell, like there's been times where they thought they found a cure or whatever, and the shit just goes back to shit basically." And Joe was like, I'm done with this. Like, fuck it. She's been bitten. Let's just fucking kill it. Take her out."
Yeah, and for Tess to take that chance, like it was really cool. And like when you're playing the game, that is a little bit more condensed, obviously. And what's interesting, one of the things that I like about the differences between the game and the show is that in the game it's like it's really action packed, but in the show you can't really do that because people are real. One of the things that I really liked about the show is that they have persistent damage in the show. So when somebody gets hurt, like they're hurt, and it's not like you can't in the game. You can
So
like
fucking
get a
medikit.
medikit and like bandage up
Yeah,
and you're
patch up.
okay.
Yeah.
In the show, you don't do that, and there's like subtle hints to that. To like people taking persistent damage. That is really really important. And for Tess, Joel, and Ellie like fighting their way out of the QZ and like getting out to like where they need to be uh, was important. And like what's crazy is like they're literally like there's frame for frame shots from the game and the show,
Hmm.
and it's weird to like see it and like weird to like hear them talking about because like later on in the episode after the lady in Jakarta talked about just bomb the city, um, they're walking out through another city in Boston trying to get out of the city, out of the QZ, and Elliot's commenting on like the bomb like impacts, and they're like, yeah, these are the bomb impacts that they did, and it's like a total throwback to like what they were talking about in the beginning of the episode of like they just bomb fucking cities to try to contain this contagion, and it just didn't work. It worked for a little bit, but it didn't work, and now you have this dystopian nightmare, and it's it's amazing, and like going through like the buildings and like seeing one of the huge changes from the show, which I loved they did because it would not make sense. They were totally right to think about this. Was there was no spores in the show because in
Hmm.
the game when you're going through like the buildings, there's like or going through anywhere, there's parts in the game where like you have spores, you have to put a gas mask on to protect yourself from the spores. But spores are everywhere. Like
Hmm.
you can't protect yourself from
Everywhere.
spores from just like a spot. And
Yeah.
so the way they changed that is like introducing the mycelial the fungus mycelial network
Mm.
as a
Not the
mechanic.
Star Trek one for
It,
those of you nerds out there.
yes, it is, but it's a fungus thing.
Yeah, it's a
So
fungus thing, but it's not the space mycelial network.
yeah, so in the show, they have this mycelial network where basically all the infected are linked by the mycelial network as long as
I,
they
I
can like
love
go ahead.
I was gonna say I love that change. That's
Yeah.
such a unique or not unique. I'm sorry, it's not a unique change, but it feels more grounded in nature.
Yes,
Like,
Yeah,
it does.
go ahead.
they have their own black web,
Yeah,
like
Mm.
fungus web.
and they even show like part of it where they're trying to go somewhere and like showing how like the sun is like there's clouds in the sky, but then with their sun like there's a bunch of infected that are like laying down on the ground like kind of lethargic, and as the sun passes over them like they move over into the sun, but the ones that are in the dark don't move, and it's like it's interesting to see that, and they're explaining how if you step on one of these mycelial network like tendrils, then it'll awaken like the infected maybe 100 miles away, and they'll come and get you
Mhm.
because they know that you're there. And I think that that's like a really cool change from the game, and it makes sense. And like they even show the effect like later on in the episode of like how they do that.
Dude, that alone just make the fucking zombie apocalypse just that much scarier. I mean, like with Walking Dead, you got if you coat yourself with fucking zombie blood, you can kind of blend in or whatever. But with this, it's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way, bro.
Yeah, unless you get the Borg kind of the naturistic Borg hive mind type mentality. And the thing is, This is kind of how it works in nature, though. I mean, when you when fungi are connected, they kind of feel it when part of it's torn out or like messed with. It's like it's like a network that becomes alive. In this case, though, they come after you when you disturb the network. So they will come for you, try to rip you open, or try to convert you, add you to the network as it consumes your essence and takes the nutrients it needs from you and makes you a drone. So I was like, oh, that makes it even more scarier than before. And then the fact that we see this new type of infected in the show. So
Yeah.
in the show, the people who had not played the game, this is your first time seeing this. When you're playing the game, this is the most terrifying thing and the most terrifying sound you can hear in the game at any time.
When that part came up, I knew when I once I heard the ticking sound, I was like, I fucking knew what the hell was going on. I'm like, oh shit, like this is gonna be all bad.
Oh, and even
Just
hold
because
on.
this is
Let's
like,
go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, just say this is an actual thing that like people who are blind do. They do like echolocating, where you can make like a ticking sound so you can know where you're going. And you can find YouTube videos about blind people doing this, where they're making like a ticking sound to help them kind of navigate around. But yeah, go ahead. What are you gonna say, Gross?
Yeah. What was cool about the episode is like leading up to that whole like clicker moment was like the tension that they used to like really amp up everything in the show was like so really well done because like when they first because I remember there's like a lot of points in the show that I was like, this is where you're gonna find clickers, but they weren't in that spot. And then they went to a spot where they were some, and it was like the way they amped up like the tension of like seeing the tendrils leading into the building of like all this fungus, and it was just like super tense and like telling Ellie you can't say fucking anything at this point, and then her stepping on a fucking hand that was like decrepit and like making all that noise and like all the sound and like the shifting around of the environment up above them just like really led into a tense moment up into the room where you meet the clickers and where there was no way out. And the
Hmm.
way that they did that was just it was just so fucking well done. And then introducing the clickers, like the way that they move was like in the game, the way that they sounded was like same thing with the game. It was fucking amazing. I really loved
Dude,
it.
they looked amazing. Like the whole like because they're basically their head, or at least where like the brain should be, is just a giant fucking like bloom of fucking fungus, which is like it's like the shit that you see like on the side of a tree just coming out of their heads, and I was like, wow, this is fucking terrifying.
So
But then kind of jumping
oh,
back
but
to Ellie, like her, like she knows of this world, but she still has that kid exploring mentality. Like there's a scene where they go into the hotel and like there's a piano and she starts playing with it. Like she's like, "Oh wow!" Like and it's like one of the like a skeleton falls out. But then there's like a scene where like they have to like walk through like this little area of water, and she's like kind of scared because she doesn't know how to swim. And Joe's like, "It's fucking knee deep. Like don't fucking trip." And she's like, "Oh, I did not know that." Like she has this little kid mentality about her. I mean, she's like a teenager, but like, she's out there exploring the world, learning things for like the first time. But I just kind of like how they kind of do that with her character. I don't know how she is in the game. I think that's pretty cool. I know from what you guys told me, like she starts picking up Joe's kind of mentality or attitude, but
yeah,
I don't
she
know.
is
I'm just waiting to
later.
see how it goes.
So the thing about the game is Ellie is younger. She's probably like 12 or something. She's like preteen when you first meet her. So when as you go through the game later on towards the end of the game, she's like a teen. She's like 14 or something. And then later on you meet her, she's like a full on woman. So yeah, but there's a lot of kind of stuff. So if you are watching the after the like inside the episode type stuff at
Hmm.
the end of the episode, they actually spoil a future infected. So they don't talk about it, but they show it to you. It's behind one of
Oh,
the talker. I'm not going to say which episode it is,
It's like
but
posted on the wall.
it's in the back. It's behind the person that's speaking, and you can see what it is because you haven't seen it yet. But you're gonna see it later on in the show, and it'll be very fucked up and terrifying because it is in the game. So, but you get to see what it is like early on. So it'll be interesting to see how they introduce this special infected later on in the show. So this is only like 8 or 9 episodes. We're three in already. So
Yeah, so I guess after the clickers, there's a fight.
mm,
It's cool. You know, they kill the clickers, and then it seems like everybody gets away, and they get to like a certain point in the at the end of the show where Tess shows that she got bit by one of the clickers, and actually so did Ellie, and it's like a selling point of Ellie is still okay after getting bit again,
Yeah.
and on her arm it doesn't show as infected, but where you see where Tess is bit, like it's already infected, and you know they're trying to leave this spot where they're trying to
You're supposed
find
to
a
get a battery.
radio. Yeah, they're supposed to get a battery and like get Ellie to
yeah.
where she was needs to go, but everybody in there is dead because one person was affected, and there was like everybody killed each other.
Hmm.
And some of the ones that are still in the room that they're in were still being infected and awaken as infected. And when Joe kills one of them, the mycelium network links up with them and then wakes up the horde, and the horde comes, which is a change from the game, which I'll explain in a minute. Um, but yeah, so you know, Tess really, you know, convinces Joel to like get you know Ellie to Bill and to get her going because she thinks that she's the cure, and she's like, I'm gonna stay behind and take care of these, infected that are coming for us. But my road ends here because she's already infected and she's already like she shows signs of being infected. Um,
Dude,
and go ahead.
I was bummed out with this scene because like we know that the actress from Fringe, and like literally watching this episode I was like, oh shit, that is her from Fringe.
Mm-hmm.
And just to know her, that was it. That was it. She's only 2 episodes, but season 3. But
It's the same thing in the
yeah, the
game.
fact that yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, okay, that was a
What's messed
short-lived
up?
reunion.
What's messed up in the game? Tess has a shorter time in the game. In the show, you spend more time with Tess than you do in the game. So
But yeah, I mean, this is actually as far as the series go up until this point. This is like one of the biggest changes from the show because in the game, it wasn't the infected that were coming that she protects you from. It was Fedra that comes,
hmm
and she has a shootout with them, and she didn't like. This is okay. I'm gonna brief pause on this. Okay, I'm gonna speak about this from like a nerd military guy. Take this with a grain of fucking salt, the tiniest grain of salt. Where where she was when she started kicking over barrels, those were diesel fuel barrels. Like her lighting up a fucking a lighter and tossing a lighter in a diesel fuel is not gonna work. Like it's not
Yeah,
how diesel fuel works. Anyway, sorry, I'm that guy to ruin that shit for you. But it's also just I understand that people don't understand how diesel fuel works or gas, but yeah, you can't light up diesel with a lighter. It needs to be lighter. It has to be harder than a lighter.
yeah.
Anyway,
But gasoline though, I've
gasoline,
seen
yeah,
gasoline. Yeah, gasoline you can light with like fucking match,
100% you can.
well,
and the
it's
fuse
not.
will catch before it even touches
Yeah,
the liquid.
it's the fumes that is flammable.
Yes.
Gasoline, the liquid, isn't flammable.
So yeah, she ends up like with that weird like fungus kiss, which is actually it was cool. I thought it was cool.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was gross. It wasn't cool. It was gross. That was gross.
Well, no, it's a cool effect, but yeah, it's gross. It's cool because it's gross. Like that was
Yeah.
another thing. Like in the game,
She got
that
mono.
whole like fungus into the mouth thing. That's not how it works. It's just a bite. It
Just
wasn't like the
talking about it
fungus
is gross.
bite. Yeah, but I love that change though. Like it looks like so much more like well thought out and like literally tendrils of fucking fungus going into your body and like infecting you. And
Ugh.
yeah,
In the soft parts too.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, so she ends up like tossing down a lighter after this fungus dude kisses her and shoves his fungus tongue down
His
her throat.
mycelium. He sticks his mycelium in her.
Fungus rapes her. I guess the fungus rape.
That's fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's basically what he did. And then he paid the price, as you should.
Yeah.
If you're gonna rape somebody, pay the price. Get blown the fuck up.
Yeah, they did get blown up like crispy blown.
Yeah, because she had grenades and shit. I was like, why didn't you just pick up a fucking grenade?
Yeah,
And just like,
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking too.
No.
all she had to do is pull the pin
Yeah,
and just wait for that moment to just let it
Yeah,
go, and
wait
then
5 seconds,
it
you're
would
good.
it would took everything out. Everything would have blown.
Yeah.
So,
You
but
take two.
good.
You take two. You pop one. Put it in like your shirt. That way, if when it explodes, you're fucking done. You don't feel fucking shit. And the other one, just in case that fucking shit didn't spark it. You know?
Yeah.
Or a couple of them just fucking
Yeah.
pretend like they're Pokemon. Just I choose you, Pikachu.
So that's the end of episode 2. So sorry, we have to cover
Mhm.
2 episodes in this. And
Oh
usually we
yeah,
don't do this, but this series is so fucking good, especially episode 3. Episode 3 is one of the most significant and greatest episodes of anything I ever watched ever. Two bears walk into I don't two
Holy
bears
shit.
walk into a bunker
Oh my
basically.
god.
and show
That's
us the meaning of fucking love.
mhm.
That's what
Well,
they do.
what's
It
what's
is.
crazy is that like from episode 2 they show a trailer for episode 3, and I was thinking like, okay, we're gonna see fucking oh god, what's the main guy's name?
Joel.
Joe.
Joel?
Yeah, we get to see Joe fuck somebody over because their guys talk about how like Joe's a fucking asshole, like he does all this stuff. I'm like, okay, he's gonna meet John Swanson, and he's gonna fuck him over and take all his fucking guns and stuff like that. But I was this episode was nothing that I thought it was gonna be. It was heartfelt. I mean, there was this it was really good. I was really surprised by this episode. I thought they did a really good job with telling the story. Yeah, I don't even though I don't know where it came from. I don't know the backstory. I felt like a little bit. It was kind of like it kind of took me not took me away from the show. It's just that it separated. It felt not a. It wasn't a filler episode, but it was more like I was watching a different show. Like it wasn't
It kind of
like the
was,
zombie
yeah.
apocalypse was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like the zombie apocalypse was happening. This was like a side story
But it
about some
was,
guy who
though.
just yeah, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. That but it was, which is kind of crazy. And the guy who played John Swanson, like he did a really good job. That guy got skills. But what's your guys take on it? Because
Isn't it Ron Swanson?
I never watched Park and Rec, so
Okay. Just checking.
I just know it's Swanson something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's on. His name was Nick. God damn it, Nick Offerman, right?
Yeah,
Nick Offerman.
awesome.
yeah.
I got. Hold
But
on. I
everyone
got.
calls him Ron. Everyone knows him as Ron Swanson.
You agreed too fast. I got to make sure that it's actually his name.
I'm pretty sure it's
Yeah, it is Nick Offerman.
yeah.
Okay. Nick Offerman did a fantastic job of playing Bill. So in the game, Bill is not a super major character. He's somebody you get some resources from, and he's a step on the way. I was very confused in this episode because of the changes that were made. Because I was like,
And he was confused too.
I remember
No.
Bill, but I don't remember like I don't remember Frank. I remember him talking about Frank,
Oh,
but
so he does talk about Frank
yes,
in the show, but in the game, or I'm sorry, in the game he talks about Frank. In the game, when you meet Bill, Frank is dead.
yeah,
Frank is
and he killed
already dead.
himself.
He's already dead. Yeah, but he does speak to him kind of like affectionately in the game, but it is. I didn't think it was that weird for them, to do this because in the game, this is a big kind of a big step. You learn a new skill when you meet Bill. He shows you how to make bombs.
Yeah,
So I was like, okay, we're gonna see. I thought we are gonna see super like makeshift bombs, like big explosions, shit like that.
I
We did
mean,
not.
you did. I mean,
Well, you
you
did.
saw
But
a lot of traps.
you did see a lot of traps that were very, very unique.
Not food or traps.
They were not.
Yeah.
No food traps. But go ahead.
Yeah. So this episode, it started off with Bill at the start of the pandemic, the infection, and they talk about the a whole episode starts with Joel and Ellie trying to find Bill, and they talk about how did the pandemic first start. He talks about how it was basically an infection with the food sources, and it was through like breads and flour and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And that's when something that both Prodigy and I think Blue did too,
Yeah.
about how Sarah really saved Joel because Joel he didn't get his pancakes in the morning, they didn't get the cake, and
Yeah.
Sarah
versa,
also
okay.
didn't eat the cookies, and so none of them
At
got
neighbor's
infected.
house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
None of them got infected. Going back to Bill. So Bill at the start of the outbreak, he was a fucking prepper, and so he's literally in his basement, like his sub basement.
Really, yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't even a basement. It was a
Yeah,
basement under the basement.
yeah. It was in a sub basement with monitors around, watching his town get rounded up by Fedra, and the government taking them somewhere to get killed. And him just like staying down there with all his prepper shit, all of his guns, all of his food, everything, and like he basically takes over the town after everybody else has left, and then like
Um,
Well,
builds like his own like little like
bunk.
sanctuary.
so
Yeah,
I
which
want to step back just one really quickly to what Cronus has said. He said they're rounding up people to get killed, and it is not a um, just a passing over kind of thing. We see the aftermath of what
yeah,
happened to these people,
I was gonna say
like
that too.
because Ellie asked why they're all. They find like literally a an
Well, it
open
wasn't even
grave.
that. Like, no, because like they were walking down the road, and Joe was like, "Okay, we're gonna go this way. I don't want you to see what's that way." She's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
what? Now I really want to see it." So they
it's
go
an
and
open
see it, and
grave.
like,
Like I said, it's an
yeah,
open grave.
Yeah,
The thing is, they're just all on top. And the thing was, one of the skeletons has an infant skeleton with them, and
hmm
you see, and then it flashes to the past to where that person has their child with them, getting on these trucks where they're saying they're being taken to safety. And we find out from Joel that if there was no room for these people, they were just straight up executed. They were lied to, saying they're being taken to safety. They get rounded up and fucking shot. So
yeah. So yeah, getting back to Bill, he builds like this around his like really small town, like fences and like elaborate traps, and like there's really like no easy way to get into like where he lives, and
then
everything's
like,
like he has like all these monitors around like where he lives, to the point to where like even like the forest around here, like where he lives, is like trapped, and so like he
yeah.
literally watch like he's infected, walk through traps and just get brained,
Well,
and
it's also cool that he one thing he did was that when everything went down, like he went to his neighbor house and fucking hooked his truck up to their boat. I was like, why is he gonna take the fucking boat? Like, what you gonna do? But that was smart because he used it as like to be able to carry more cargo because he went to like Home Depot and got
yeah,
all these equipment for building the fences. But then also he went to like the electric company and like just
that's
turned on the gas
the
that went
gas
to his
company,
house.
yeah.
But then yeah, and then like he filled up a bunch of containers with like diesel. Like he went around to different cars, like sucking. And they didn't show him doing that, but like the guy was he like the guy had a plan and he executed and he ended up like building his own little fucking sanctuary basically.
he
Yeah,
was a he was a doomsday prepper. So
yeah,
and
and
he was
so
ready.
like after all that stuff, eventually a person, not an infected person, but a normal person, gets caught in one of his traps, and this is when it just turns into like this crazy good love story, which is like I would have not pegged this show for having like a gay love story, but I gotta say honestly, this is like one of the best love stories like fucking ever. It
Dude,
was
what was crazy is I was waiting for was it Henry was his name right?
Bill
What's the
or
name of the
Frank.
Frank? I was waiting for Frank to like when Bill was playing the piano, playing that song. I thought Frank was just about to wallop stopped him a back of the head and fucking take everything because this guy has a fucking sanctuary. Like there's food, there's hot water, or you can take a shower, there's electricity, like there's all this stuff. I'm like, this guy's gonna fucking like murder Bill just to take over everything, but that did not happen. Like they they end up falling in love. Like
Yeah,
whoa,
For like a decade.
well, more than I think it was
for
more than
real.
a decade, wasn't it?
Like
I mean,
It is.
like
because
It's
20
like
years or something like that.
it's 23 years or 22 years, something like that.
yeah, and they go through a lot, and it's just like it ends up being that I'm gonna skip through a lot because it's a lot of like love story stuff that I love, and I think that everybody should watch the episode. I think that they probably would get some pushback from like those people.
You mean
Yeah,
Tucker Carlson? Because I'm pretty
Yeah,
the
sure he
ones
has.
who don't like
the
Shady
repressed
wearing shoes.
the
Yeah, I'm
repressed
pretty
ones.
sure. I'm pretty sure he has something to say.
But this was just if you ever been in like a long term relationship and you watch, like, I fucking teared up watching this shit. Um, After seeing like what happened to like both of them, and it's just like once you get to like a point to where you have to take care of somebody else, and it's like one of those things. I'm like, man, we're all getting older, and there's no when it comes to love, there is no easy way out. Um, Love is it's going to be a story of tragedy, no matter how you slice it. Either one of you is going to break up with the other, or one of you is going to fucking die before the other, unless you both happen to crash in the same plane at the same time. But
Or died in the same car wreck.
yeah, but usually love is a story of tragedy. And this episode really shows that to its fullest, and still has like one of the most beautiful stories, even at the end
Yeah.
of love, and like going through trials and tribulations with a loved one, and just grinding through it, and then even at the end just like deciding to, this is it, this is the only love you want to have, and this is nothing else, you don't want anything else, and making decisions. And I just thought that it
It's
was beautiful.
it's like up there where with like older people who like one passes away and then like a day or a week later the other one passes away just because they just miss that person and love them so much. But I was gonna say the second most greatest love story is from Titanic, and it's not with
Oh, you
Rose and
motherfucker,
what's her
god
name.
damn it.
No, 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 wait, listen to me out. It's not with Rose and such and such. It's with that old couple when the ship is sinking. The old couple that's
Oh
sitting
yeah,
on
I
the
get it.
bed and he like puts the cover over his woman and like they just go down together. That right there is the most epic love story in the Titanic movie. Go back and watch it. You'll see what I'm talking
I
about.
can't
But
watch the
like
movie,
yeah,
but
but
I believe you.
I know.
forward to that part there. But no,
People, a lot of people point out that scene. So I remember.
yeah, that was like true romance right there. But like yeah, overall like this for this episode like being somebody who never played a game and like especially if they took like another look at this character like I thought they really did a really good job. I every time I was just waiting for somebody to backstab somebody and like some crazy shit that happened, but like no, like these two these two people fell in love and like at first it was just gonna be like oh yeah you can be here for a couple hours, I'll make you some food and then we get to learn about like one person's been basically hiding their true feelings and the other one discover it and like the scene where they're in the bed and he's like look I'm not a slut. I'm like
Yeah,
okay
but
where the fuck
also
is this going.
I'm gonna suck your
Okay.
dick. I was just like, all right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm about to go down.
Like I said, I was gonna take it slow, and I was like, you're gonna go straight to sucking dick. All
Yeah,
right.
but no,
I'm
then
gonna
like
say. Oh,
they
go
kind of
ahead.
flash forward and like they're still together and like dude talking about like we need to paint the house. Like I want to go do this. I'm like okay, dude, your guy's about to get fucking killed now because he's fucking up. Like trying to you're basically making the property look like people are maintaining it.
Yeah.
I mean, more people are going to come in and stuff like that. But yeah, this was a really good episode. Like Kron said, it's a really good, great love story. But one thing I thought was funny is when they kiss for the first time you can tell that these are two straight guys kissing because it was
Oh
like
yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
no.
I
Hold
noticed
on.
it
that
was just
too.
Hold
I
on,
noticed
real quick. Only Nick Offerman is straight. The other guy's actually gay.
oh
that.
he is
Okay.
okay
Yeah.
that makes sense but
Yeah,
I mean
Nick
it does make
Offerman
sense
has
but like
his wife is famous. His wife is a famous comedian too. I
oh yeah
can't.
that's right she's from Will and Grace right
I think so. Something like that. I know she's a comedian too. I guess they don't act together, but I think they've been in one movie together. But yeah, she's pretty. She has a fan base herself.
but yeah
So
the kiss was a little on the awkward side but I mean I don't know
I mean, it
everybody
works. I
kiss
mean,
different
I think in the narrative of them
I want a
being.
tongue I want to be like blah, 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 blah.
Oh no, I'm okay. I needed it to be what it was. I felt like it needed to be awkward because it was their first time. Because when you watch them
Was
do it
definitely
later,
his first time
well, yeah, it was his. It was Bill's first time. But
yeah
when you watch it later, it looks more comfortable. It looks more like loving when they start kissing, like because they're kissing like they're a couple. They peck. They don't like
oh yeah
go at it. So it looked more natural at that point stage. So,
but
but the
like
thing
for the
is, I'm gonna say this: Blue, that whole energy you have about people backstabbing each other and some kind of fucking flashing, keep that same energy.
Oh,
So
like in The Walking Dead, like it's not the walkers you have to worry about. It's the humans, like the ones that are
it,
still alive.
he says so. Joel says the same thing in episode 2
Yeah,
because
he
Ellie
did say
asked
that.
him, "I don't see infected. What are we? What are we like? What are we being,
Cautious
so
about.
cautious about?" He says people.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
that's
I gotta give a shout out. So the guy's name is Murray Bartlett. That's
oh,
the actor that plays Frank, and yeah, he's an openly gay guy. He's actually Australian.
okay. Oh
So
yes, if you watch
the White
the
Lotus.
inside the yeah, he's in that. But if you watch inside the episode, you hear his real voice, and I was like, oh shit, and you hear the accent. So
He's a fantastic actor.
it was really good. I was really drawn in. I wasn't sure what the fuck was going to happen. I did not expect the love story. I thought Bill was going to blow him away. I thought Bill was going to check,
Well,
boom.
it looked
So,
like Frank blew Bill away.
but
oh,
don't.
yeah. God damn.
But then like once Joel and the girl gets there, like because
Ellie.
like this is Ellie, because we're seeing their perspective in the past of Frank and Bill. We're seeing the past, and then when Bill and Frank or once Joel and Ellie gets there, we get to see like, wow, like this shit really fucking happened. But then like they knew that Joel was gonna or yeah, that Joe was gonna show up because since Bill's a prepper, like he had this. It was basically like it's basically they. I feel like they took an element out of the game with this, but like he had everything Joel needed to build a battery. Like he had like the case and stuff and the sulfuric acid. Like all that stuff was there, and I feel like that's something from a video game. Like you need to go and find these elements to bring them together to build the battery that you can use for a car. And
I'm,
the fact that
um,
he had like electricity, so he was able to charge the battery and then throw everything into the truck. I thought that was kind of cool. I felt that was a little like something they took from the game. But then again, I didn't play the game. I'm thinking more like your Resident Evil or like Friday the 13th. Like
yeah, Friday the 13th, you have to do. You got to bring parts to get the car to
yeah, to
work.
bring parts together to be able to get the car to work, and that's basically
So,
I feel like they
so
did that
yes,
in the show.
in the game, it is kind of sort of like that. Not as in depth, but you do need to get stuff for build you a weapon. You got to go get resources, but you got to fight infected to get those resources. And then he
Mm-hmm.
builds it to you, and then things go to shit. So
After
real
shit,
quick,
it's funny. There was I saw a meme earlier that talked about the Last of Us. It's like, yo, this movie is nothing like the game. Joel didn't die 20 goddamn times in that room with the clickers,
yeah.
like I did when I was playing the game.
So I noticed that too because I died a lot with Joel, and you would die less if you build the fucking shiv. If you're gonna play the game, the first thing you do is you build the fucking shiv. If not, you're gonna die 50, 11 times easily, easily. You need a
Yeah.
shiv to get out and get yourself free of a clicker. If not, you will die and have to reset at the last checkpoint. And sometimes those checkpoints are way far back, so you're kind of fucked.
We'll kind of jump back to Joel and Ellie, like the scene where they're kind of walking, and they see like an airplane crash on the ground, and Ellie's like, "Oh man, it's so cool that you were able to fly and stuff like that." It's like it made me think of like the world kind of now, like not like technology wise, but like how this generation, like there's stuff we grew up with that this generation would never experience, like trying to think of one,
I'm gonna say,
like
plus,
slow internet or like rotary phones or 8 tracks. I mean,
so a
they
lot of
probably don't think that shit's cool, but like that's
well, it's not
something
just
we
that.
deal with.
A lot of them are gonna think that those are inconveniences in old tech. They're not gonna want stuff that doesn't work as well as stuff does today. It's not like
Yeah,
the thing that they may want to do, which they're probably not don't do very often, is probably like ride a horse. That's less common than it was in like the 1800s. Like riding a
yeah.
horse was the equivalent of like buying a car. So
But I mean, I think it's interesting that scene. And then like also when she gets into the car, she's like, "Oh, like what is this?" And it's like it's a fucking cassette tape. And she like puts
mhm.
it in the radio. It's like Joel's like, "Oh, this is like." At first he's like, "Ah, don't put it down, don't touch it." But he sees like what song is on it. He's, "Oh, go ahead, play it and stuff like that." But then
Mhm.
like her like not knowing how to use like a seatbelt and like Like she's like super excited about driving in the car. I'm surprised she didn't ask to drive, but
No,
you
she
know,
didn't.
I just
She was scared. She didn't know what the fuck
She
was
got that
there.
oh
gun
yeah,
though. She's like, if you don't let me drive, I'll just blow your brains out.
yeah.
Did
But
you
I
talk
just
about the gun
I
yet
don't know,
with her?
not yet. No,
Okay.
we didn't talk about. Oh, we talked about how like how her experience in the world, how like she never been on an airplane because she grew up in the pandemic, but then also like her first time driving a car, or being in the car, not driving it, but being in the car. She didn't know how to wear her seatbelt or how a fucking tape was.
Yeah, real quick. Sorry, people that listen to the podcast and don't watch the podcast might think that sometimes Cronus forgets shit a lot, but no, I just got to take a piss, and so I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm asking questions.
See, with Blue, I have Bluetooth headphones on, so when I walk away, Blue,
Well,
wow, that's a little different
I'm
inside stuff.
I'm in a separate building, so my Bluetooth
Oh
would
no,
not reach to my bathroom.
yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm
we
not
do
sure.
that a
If
lot.
she,
So we're recording, and like we drink beers and we walk away, take a piss. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not trying to hear y'all pissed anyway.
yeah, so Cronos, you were talking about the gun, Ellie getting the gun.
Yeah. So Ellie stole actually Frank's gun. I don't know if y'all noticed that.
Oh yeah,
That is actually Frank's gun. So she stole Frank's gun secretly to keep it away from Joel. And also in the episode, even before this one, she showed her the start of her sadistic streak. So in the last episode, there's a couple things, a couple changes from the show, which actually I still really like. Is that one of them is when Joel was trying to find his old stash, Ellie was like, well, Joel said there's nothing else left in this place, and then so Ellie started looking around and she found tampons, which is like not a total loss because she needs tampons. Obviously, Joel doesn't. So for him, total loss. But for her, something of importance because she's like 14 years old, she has periods, and that was interesting. But then also she found someone that was infected that was mostly buried in rubble, and so she takes out her knife and like cuts this infected who's still alive on the forehead and like sees that there's like fungus underneath like the cut, and then brains it, like stabs it in the head and then watches it die. And so that's like one of the first precursors for anybody that's watching, that Ellie is not. I mean,
A
both
saint.
Ellie and Joel are not great people. And if the show goes the same way as the game, that's going to get reinforced more and more. Actually, I was surprised that they even showed Ellie's sadistic side so early on in the show, but I guess you have to do it because you have to show that both of these characters are like they're very flawed people. They're not really heroes. So yeah, y'all see like watching if the show takes some more things from the game that they're not great people.
So
And
I think. Oh, sorry. Go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say to reinforce that if you watch the little reel before the show starts, it's like an introduction to the show. Neil Druckmann says during this time, there's no one that's all the way good and no one all the way bad. He literally says there's no real heroes in this universe.
Yeah. And
So
when you play the game, you feel
same
all
way.
that shit, and then when you play the second game, you're like, all right.
Oh yeah,
I get it.
yeah. When you see the second one, you know, oh shit, this is what we're doing now. Is this how it is? Okay. So
Decisions were made. There are consequences. Shit happens.
yeah, and we're probably going to see that will set up season two very very blatantly. So that's why a lot of people believe that Swole Abbey may have already been cast.
I mean,
But
swell
we
out.
shall
We're
see.
getting ahead of ourselves. Still on episode 3. Anyway,
Yeah, I know.
somebody asked in the podcast, or sorry, somebody asked in the chat. I think
Chat.
it was Derek. Um,
Yeah, it was
uh,
Derek.
about do I feel like this is the best video game adaptation? I
Oh,
do. Yes. It surpasses Arcane. Arcane for me was the best up until now. This mainly because like of the changes that were made, the fundamental changes, and like how much better it is as far as storytelling from the game. And Arcane was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but Jesus Christ, this episode 3 threw me for such a fucking loop, and it was so so emotional to like for me to like consume this sort of media. Uh, yeah, it's the greatest video game adaptation to date
Uh,
for me.
so I'm gonna say for me because we actually have this question. I guess well we have a similar question. We're gonna save it for next week. It has a list. I already started my list, but for me, Arcane and Castlevania are
Yeah,
neck and neck because
Sam
Oh
Beats
yeah.
Castlevania
had him on
was
podcast.
But then again, those
Castlevania.
were animated, so that was a little bit on the easier side. Where it
There's
was live action. Live action video game adaptations almost always suck. So
almost always, but they're getting better, and the proof of that is Sonic. Sonic 1 and 2
Sonic, yeah.
did really well.
Mortal
Well, I
Kombat was pretty
mean, it's
good.
still CGI though. I mean,
It's partial CGI. I mean,
yeah,
there's live action people there, but then we had what's the one? Oh, even Uncharted. Uncharted was okay. Like it was
Yeah, I'm trying to.
fun.
It was,
Yeah,
but
it's
then also
fun.
Lara Croft
I still
or
haven't
Tomb
watched it.
Raider was kind
The
of decent.
the Tomb Raider for that just came out, the most recent one was okay as well.
No, I'm talking about the
One
fucking
Angelina
Angelina
Jolie was
Jolie.
that one was better. I like that one better, even though this one stuck more to the game. But now I guess they're gonna scrap it and do a TV series on Amazon now because everyone's like, "Ooh, Last of Us." So hopefully, producers take note, especially the producers of Halo. Even though I liked Halo, Halo was pretty good, but I think they need to go a little bit more back to basics and like kind of show because they don't really show the struggle between uh, the Covenant and the Earth forces, and they barely even show the Halo. They show it once or twice. They show it twice. So I want to see a little bit more of that uh, going forward. But so far with this one, this is literally almost scene for scene, almost shot for shot, and almost word for like dialogue per dialogue is almost identical. There's literally like maybe two words that are changed, or the phrase that said this is the same, but it's acted differently. And you can watch these. You can watch a lot of these on IGN, especially their Instagram. They will show you scene for scene, and it has a dialogue. The dialogue's identical, but the way Pedro does it and the way that D. Bradley Baker do it are different a little bit in certain aspects because it doesn't fit with their scene, their respective scenes. So it does a pretty damn good job um, going from how pixel to screen, I guess. So man.
So I just did a quick Google search to find out like like movie or video game adaptations and like looking at the list I'm like wow none of these are really good until like recently like
Yeah,
Pokemon Detective Pikachu was pretty good. Tomb Raider was good, but like the Resident Evil like it started off decent,
trash.
but
No,
then
no, no,
it just kind of
no, it
went
didn't.
way
No, it
downhill.
didn't. No, it didn't. The first fucking Resident Evil started with fucking Alice. Alice isn't in anywhere in any of those fucking games. Nowhere
That's
near
true.
is there fucking Alice. Alice was the focal point of Resident Evil, and I have not seen the Netflix Resident Evil, but apparently, Prodigy loved it, and apparently it was trash, like super
Yeah,
trash.
I was gonna say that like yeah the Netflix one got really bad reviews.
So the one that's on there that I gave a review for on the podcast was Werewolf Within or Werewolves Within. That one's based off a Switch game or whatnot, or a Nintendo game. That one I really liked a lot because it didn't take itself seriously. It was funny. It was also like kind of like it had a mystery to it, and everything came together in the end. It was actually pretty well put together. It was like a B movie, but it worked really well. And it has the AT&T girl in it, so I was even more intrigued. But actually, as a whole film, I was very entertained. I was super shocked. I'm like, this is an adaptation. I had fun with the film. It didn't take itself too seriously, like I said, and everything like was cohesive. It
So
didn't do stupid ass shit.
this is interesting. So like I'm on Wiki right now, and they have a list of upcoming video game adaptations, and on here the first one on here, which I guess it comes out in 2023 in August, is Gran Turismo. Like, how do you make a movie about cars? I mean, I guess
Fast and
Mm,
Furious. How are you asking these questions, bro?
yeah.
they
Also,
made, I mean there's a Need for Speed movie too, so I
Yeah.
mean
that
there's
that
that,
movie
but
was
like
trash. That movie's
that
fucking
was
trash.
really bad.
Holy shit, that
But
movie
like
was.
we have, I mean, Crossfire. So there's a comedian recently. I know we got to wrap up pretty soon, but there's a comedian recently that was talking about the game Crossfire, like the little. It's the one where you shoot the little balls, and you hit the little disc, and like it goes into your friend's like goal or whatever. And like he was talking about how like that commercial made Crossfire seem like it was like this epic thing. Like because in the commercial, there's like and it's like a apocalyptic world and like two enter a ring and they play against each other like decide like the fate of humanity. But he was like when you once you actually got the game, it was like you played it for like 10 seconds. That was it. Like that's it. You're just hitting the ball against a little pinwheel that goes into somebody else's thing. It was a really funny stand up joke. But it looks like we're getting a Death Stranded movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, which
directed by the man himself. Apparently.
yeah, Hideo Kojima, which I've said for like since the podcast has probably started that Hideo Kojima needs to make like actual, movies and TV shows because he is a huge fan of Western like culture. Obviously, if you play any of his games, and I think that his style of storytelling in video games would lead very well into a show or a movie, especially like a show. I think it would do fantastic. Hopefully, a good studio picks it up, and he has a good budget, and then he gets his vision made because his vision is kind of quirky, kind of fucking weird, but I'm all in for it. Like it's fucking let's do it. So this could be honestly a Metal Gear, or Death Stranding show could be right up there with The Last of Us, but it depends on how creative he's allowed to be in that endeavor. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, plus we have is it Daryl Reedus? That's the actor's name? Or
Oh,
am I mixing up his character? Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah.
I think of Daryl.
It's
from,
Daryl. Yeah.
Yeah,
in Walking Dead.
Norman Reedus plays Daryl. There you go.
But like, yeah, like I mean, you got your actor right there. Like,
Well, they love working together, and like
no
Norman
reason to
Reedus,
cast.
that was a dream for him to work with Hideo Kojima. So that's why they're doing Death Stranding Part 2. So they did a pretty good job. So the one film that keeps being talked about, like on the low, on the hush, is Metal Gear Solid. So they already have a director. They have Oscar Isaac as Snake, or Solid Snake.
Yeah, I think that that's never going to go through. Only because Metal Gear Solid is a Hideo Kojima thing. A Hideo.
Kojima property.
Yeah, but it's but Konami owns the yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the sad part. I would love to see a Metal Gear movie or or show. Either one, it'd be fantastic.
So you can see online, the director posted a bunch of like what is it called, like storyboards.
Fan art?
What no, storyboards, actual storyboards of what they were trying to do. And like they have the tank, they have like one of the tanks on there, and what Oscar Isaac would look like in full on gear and stuff. So, but when he was in a recent movie. Oh, and when Moon Knight premiered, they were asking him about Metal Gear Solid, and he was talking about his frustration and why it wasn't moving forward. And he's saying there was stuff going on that was conflicting that couldn't get them to move forward. But he said he's waiting. He wants to do it. He wants to move forward with it. He wants it to hit theaters. So we'll see. I mean, he only has a certain amount of time to fulfill a contract or whatnot, and then he can drop out if they're not going to move forward. So.
All right. Well, I think we do have to wrap it up. There's one last thing I want to say. We'll talk about it, I guess, next week, maybe, hopefully, because I guess let's save it. Yeah, we'll save it next week. I don't want to end up load out.
That's fine. You
Yeah,
don't want to
put on the list.
Yeah, put it on the list.
Okay.
Remember next week.
All right. So, Blue, what you got going on, jerking off to, seeing, doing this weekend?
Oh man, this weekend, we're actually gonna take our first family road. I guess it's not really. Cause we've been to Tahoe. I was gonna say we're gonna do a road trip. We're going down to L.A. for the weekend. One of Nancy's cousins who has a kid that's the same age as Sebastian. He's a month older, which is crazy. My kid's about to turn 2. He's in a month. He'll be 2, which is fucking crazy. But anyways, Nancy's got a cousin who their kid's turning 2, so we're going down to L.A. for their birthday. So we're doing our first long distance road trip. I mean, we've been to Tahoe. which is a quick like 3 hour drive. But he was like younger, so he like pretty much just chilled out in his seat and didn't cry as much or whatever. So this is actually going to be us going down there, and we're taking my Tesla, which is going to be interesting because I
That's one
mean
charge. You can make it.
yeah, I mean I can make it, but like with the kid, we're gonna stop a couple of times. But like
Fuck that.
there's
I mean,
I want to say fuck that too, but
I
like
know, I know.
like back in the day, like when I was younger, I could drive to LA nonstop, just straight going down there. But like the last couple of years, like driving down there, I'm like, I need to take a break. Like I can't fucking do it anymore.
I was
Like I
gonna
need,
say,
like, but then
I was
again, there's like really cool, like there's areas I stop at on purpose just because they have cool shit to check out. Like there's this place called Bravo Farm that's like kind of closer down south, more south than north. It's really cool. It's like they have like a bunch of knickknacks. There's a
More
cool little
south than
barbecue
north.
spot there.
It's just sage wisdom.
Well, no, it's closer to LA than it is to the Bay Area.
Okay.
But it's not like it's not by the Grapevine. It's a little bit further north of that. It's more south than north. So, anyways, but
Bruh.
yeah, there's like cool stuff.
I don't know what to say.
There's like
Okay.
there's like cool stuff there. They have like a cool like little western like town. Like they have like I don't know if they have a golf course or it's just like a picnic area. I think it's like a playground basically, and it's like Western theme where kids can play in. And like I go there, I'm like, this is just, if I was a kid, I'd be running all through these buildings. But like they have like upstairs, they have like an area where they have like old school, like the light guns where you can like shoot like the little targets and like the little things on the thing like interacts or whatever, which is pretty cool. They have a giant like redwood tree that's been like you could it's like the trunk of it, not the trunk, but like it's you can see the rings of the redwood tree, and on there it says like this at this point in the tree's life this happened, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean it'd be kind of cool just to explore like different areas, like I stopped at was it Kettleman Ranch.
Yeah.
I checked that out for the first time, like before. Like I usually just pass by there. I actually stopped to check it out, but there's a charge station there. But there's a bunch of charge stations off of the 5, so we got that going on. The sweetness is actually changing jobs. So like tomorrow will be her last day at her job now, and then like she has a week off before she starts her new job. But she's like in between the weeds, so she kind of doesn't know what she wants to do. But then our son, like this kid's just growing. Like this kid, like we got him a tablet for the road trip, and like I don't know, this kid like he knows songs, he can count, like he's working his ABC. Like he'll randomly be like just start counting. Like he'll be like, and like right now he can count to 20. That's the highest I've heard him count. But he would just be like he was like the other day he was standing in the living room just dancing, just spinning around in circles until he got dizzy, and all of a sudden he started counting. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like I was all kind of confused, but and he's actually doing sign language too. Like he knows like please and sorry and like eat and more and like shoes and socks. I'm like, wow, like this shit's incredible. Like it's just interesting to like know that he was like this little tiny creature that would like I would just hold to protect, and now he's just this little thing creature that's exploring the world with just I don't know, it's crazy. Like it's I remember when I think one time I went to Cronus's house and his youngest daughter Riley was there, and she started talking, and I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like she knows she knows words and senses, and she can interact and stuff. Now it's
weird.
crazy how
Yeah.
fast that just unfolds. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. Just doing the road trip. Hopefully I can see some family while I'm down there, so they can meet my son for the first time. But yeah, that's about it for me.
I
Can't
remember
wait for life.
the last time I saw Riley, she could speak in full sentences. That was still kind of weird for me because the last time when I saw her, she spoke in like kind of broken, like kind of like difficult for her to articulate sentences. Last time I saw her, she had full on run on sentences.
Oh, she will. Yeah.
Yeah, she was going on because
Yeah.
I came to pick up something from the house. She's like, "Mommy, who's that? Like, how do you know him? Where he come from?" She's like going off and off. Like Kay's like, "Oh, you don't remember him? You were really little." And she's like, "Oh," and she like understood more about communication from adults to kid. It was really interesting to watch because it was such a huge gap when I saw her last. So
Yeah, well, because of the pandemic, but like
yeah,
we started doing like walks, me and her, like after dinner, we go on walks around the block, which is like around a mile, and we just like
Oh,
talk walk on the walk around the block, and it's just like
yeah.
it's super cool.
So your walk is about a mile?
Yeah, it's about a mile. Yeah, and it's
Oh,
like
that's,
it's up and down a hill. So yeah.
oh, okay. That's even more grueling.
Oh, she doesn't mind. Like she, I mean, for me, it's like good because I get I'm still rehabbing my foot. I'm out of the boot now, and so I have
No, right
like
on.
I can walk with two normal shoes
Boot to
on,
the
but I
head.
have like an insert in my shoe. I like a carbon fiber insert in my shoe, so I don't look crippled, but I'm still kind of crippled. I can't run still.
Oh,
I was gonna say, do you get like 5 more miles? 5 more. Did you knock off like a tenth of a second off your quarter mile time having a carbon fiber or shoe?
No, no, I'm still fucking I'm still fucking slow. Like if I have to, it have to be like a super emergency for me to run. Like if Riley's life was in danger, I would run. But other than that, like it's very painful. It's very painful to run.
Shit, I bet.
I tried it
I
the
get
other
it.
day when the doctor was like, "Yeah, you can like take your boot off, you're good to go, but take it easy." And like I was like, "Let me just try to jog somewhere." Oh no, no, no,
That's
that's
all
not gonna
bad.
work. I can't do
Uh,
that.
so, Cronus, what you got going on this weekend? Watching, jerking off through, playing, gaming. What you got?
This weekend for me, my weekend starts today, so it's kind of cool.
Oh, there you go.
I'm
But by
back.
keto.
Yeah, I'm off of keto. I'm consuming carbs again. It's nice. It's so amazing like how good shit tastes that people just take for granted every fucking day.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Also, how shitty some things can taste. Like if you haven't
Mm,
drank soda for a long time, you drink soda. It's
oh,
like, God damn, this is just
yeah.
pure sugar.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, but then also it's just like, oh my god, it's like so much fucking flavor.
Yeah,
It's just like
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ. It's like it's a lot. you know. Um yeah, like getting used to like eating n- normal quote unquote food again. It's like it's nice, but also like it's really indulgent. It's like I don't know how long I'm gonna eat normal food again because once you go without for a while and then you go back with like I think it enhances like the enjoyment of it. I was eating like some caramel popcorn the other day, like yesterday, because I've only been off like a day. I was like, this is like the best fucking shit ever.
Mhm.
But like normally, like when you're just like normally eating, it's like caramel popcorn or just popcorn in general. It's fucking
No,
popcorn.
caramel popcorn is actually really fucking good. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
eat it that
it,
often, but when you do, it's fine. It's definitely a delicacy
but
or like a very treat yourself kind of thing.
if you go without like any carbs for like a month,
Yeah,
it's
I
almost like a
haven't done that
religious
yet.
experience.
Oh, I can. I tried. I did it for like maybe 4 days, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
I did a solid month with like no carbs, no booze, and nothing else. I did caffeine a little bit. That was basically it. And yeah, everything else just it's great. But I don't know how long I'm gonna do it for. So we'll see. Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna finish up Evil West. I'm trying to get back into better shape. I'm already in. I lost 15 pounds, like I said. It's great, but I need to get my strength back up. Because that took a huge hit from the pandemic and fucking my foot. And I'm looking forward to like getting my strength back on. Uh, yeah, that's all I got.
all right, for sure. As for me, I'm gonna probably try this High on Life game.
Again?
Not High on Life. The High Rush thing. The Jet Set Radio spiritual.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, that one. I can do. High Rush or whatever. But I'm gonna try it out. I'm probably gonna uninstall High on Life and then playing a lot more Modern Warfare because Prodigy wants to play. He got stuck on the raid. We beat the raid, so he's kind of fiending for more. So we may or may not twitch out some more with B-Boy Frost because he hasn't done the raid yet. So we may run him through it. Trying to catch up on some of the shows. Like I watch Mayor of Kingstown, which is really crazy fucking show. Season 2 started like a month
Sorry,
ago, so I'm trying to catch up.
sorry to cut you off, Lil Ninja. It's called Hi-Fi Rush.
Hi-Fi Rush, there we go. I don't know High in Life. Hi-Fi Rush. I'm probably gonna install that. Play more Monster Hunter. I'm gonna try to Twitch out a little bit more, but not. If we do the raid, definitely there'll be a Twitch. So keep your eye out on our Twitch channel. Out on our socials, I usually let people know when we're gonna go. Usually it's already we already are in it and then when you get the link, we're already on go. So, and then I need to read. I bought like 7 books, like hardbacks, and I haven't. They're collecting dust, so I need to read some of these books and catch up, especially with the Star Wars stuff, because there's going to be a new Star Wars. There's going to be like 3 Star Wars series this year. I kind of want to catch up on some of the stuff, so just doing that. And yeah, it's kind of it for me.
Blue, what you got?
So
He already
I
went
went on
through.
mine.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
first to go.
Well then just take us
Yeah.
out of here.
All right. You just experienced Black and Black Times Infinity. the
Infinity.
the Dankies podcast on the interwebs. You can check us out anywhere and everywhere with B's and BTIs. BTHANBTI. And anywhere you listen to podcasts, yes, anywhere. Pretty much we're on everything unless it's something that's just barely out. You won't find us on Parlor, unfortunately. But
I'll bring her up
we're,
yet.
no, we don't. I don't think we really give a shit about being on Parlor. We'll probably get a lot of flame like emails and flame comments that'll start with the N word. Just saying. But everywhere else you can find us, you can email us at bthanbti@gmail.com. We have a Discord that lets you know if you want a slightly more responsive, you know, responsive questions, I guess, to us, or
You can
you just
interact
want
with the
to,
cast.
yeah, you can on a more like kind of private level, I guess. But there's a good amount of people in there. Just email us, let us know you want to join. We'll probably have to vet you a little bit before we let you in, but it's a good time in there. There's a lot of topics. There's a lot of stuff that people want us to talk about on the cast. You can put in there and stuff if you don't want to, voice it out in the or out where someone else can see it or whatnot. Um, we have our official website, binheadproduction.com/BTI, and on Amazon when app that will let you know when we go live. There you go.
All right. We're out this bitch.